I bled for the broken, stood for the scarred. Love like a wildfire burned every part. So if you hear a whisper rolling in the breeze that I've laid down my war and finally found peace, don't wear black like I'm gone for good. I just left the world like a real man should. Don't cry a tear when they say it's the death of me. I live fierce, I live raw, and I died free. Every wound, every win, every line tells my legacy. So raise the glass, don't you dare mourn the death of me. Truths I screamed, every line was a piece of the man I dreamed. No backup plan, no safety net, just grit and fire, no damn regrets. I stood for the voiceless, I wrote through pain. I do it all again in the pouring rain. If they circle my grave like they've won the fight, tell them legends don't sleep just cause it's night. I'm the echo in the war drum beat, the ghost that marches in your defeat. Don't cry a tear when they say it's the death of me. I live fierce, I live raw, and I died free. Every wound, every win, every line tells my legacy. So raise a glass, don't you dare mourn the death of me. Yeah, my enemies toast like they closed the book, but I'm the line they never took. Still burning in the words I leave. I'm the storm in the quiet they can't believe. Let heaven thunder with my name. Let memory set the world aflame. I wasn't made to fade or flee. I was born to bend eternity. Don't cry a tear when they say it's the death of me. Turn up the volume, let my story scream. I gave it all, fire, truth, and clarity. And if my words still breathe, then this ain't the death of me. Just the start of my eternity.
Yo,
Talk to me.
bro.
I'm live, by the way.
I know,
Okay.
bro. What kind of doomer? I'm a bitch. I can't fight. I'm scared. Victim ass mindset is going on in this world.
I mean, it's what her niche is cultivating a little bit. I can't say I'm surprised. He was very aggressive about his victimhood.
Yeah,
By the way, I have not shown nor explained. My audience has no idea why I got kicked.
Oh yeah, of course. I told you to come up. As soon as I said I saw you in the chat.
No. Yeah, they don't know why I got kicked off of Pearly things.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know either. I honestly I don't know why you got kicked, because I ended up getting kicked for a second, and then I was like, I'm gonna wait here.
Put me backstage, then kicked me all the way out of the studio, and then put you backstage, but then brought you back up, and then I rejoined the backstage.
Well, because I think she realized I knew she was planning on getting ready to wind down, and she was getting rid of the guys that were not on person, like the avatars. She was dropping them off, right? It seemed like
I was cammed up.
I know you were cammed up, so that's why I don't know why you got kicked.
She threw me down. Right because I think it's because I made that comment to the guy.
Which one?
I don't know if you heard it right when the guy was saying girls like guys that they need to fix or some shit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said they must love you.
Well, here's the funny thing, right? The mindset's the problem. I have the video queued up for right before the guy comes up, and
we should watch that.
Okay. So just give you guys some context here. My audience that are watching it, I'm sure Flo kind of broke it down. We were
I didn't do anything.
Okay, so we were just on Pearl Stream. I was on there. I saw Flo in the chat. I told Flo to get on here, so he hops up. And we're talking about like, the topic of the stream was, do all women have a hoe phase, basically? And does it take going through a hoe phase order to win? Right. And honestly, like, I really don't. Every woman's promiscuous. Just assume that every woman's promiscuous, and then your life is fine. Don't dwell on it. Right. And then the conversation ended up changing about like marriage. Then it went to marriage. Like, why even get married in the first place? Isabel Moody's husband came on and he filled her spot for the rest of the show. And this guy comes up and he starts attacking Isabel Moody's husband because he was a Christian. He stayed a virgin until he got married, and he married Isabel Moody, who has had a past. It's not like a horrible past, but she has a past with like everybody else for the most part. And dude comes up and calls this dude a cuck and a simp and all this other crazy shit. And we're like, whoa, wait a minute, hold the fuck up. So that's kind of giving you guys the context of what we're about to.
You should maybe start from where Moody swaps out with her husband.
That's what I'm doing. It's like,
okay, good.
Like she's already gone and he's about to come on. So should I go back a little bit further to when Moody was still there?
Just to see his entrance?
Yeah. His entrance is here. What's up, Greg? Greg, do you want me to send you the link? Let me know. So here we go.
I mean, it could be, but just don't say it. I don't know.
I won't.
Like, is it like, so Shaq admitted that he has like 4 women that he has living
2016. So that was like,
oh wow, then for sure. Yeah, it was only like 3 or 4 years ago, she said.
Hold on, I can't say because it'll
and honestly, that same guy, I have a friend that here in Phoenix that's from New York, and he would tell me, he's one of the people that I would confer about this the most with, and he told me that a lot of the girls he got with in New York were.
We could probably jump through this guy. I think this guy's full of shit.
No, that guy got with many like if you've seen his wife, I've known of.
He's rocking a Dare shirt. He's rocking a Dare shirt. That dude gets high.
She's yeah, she's beautiful, but he had like a string of just 8+ women that he dated that were just like stunning.
Yeah, no,
he dated all. Yeah, it was like a generational run. So, did you meet the girl recently?
Yeah, I met her just at the beginning of this year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just stole this from Isabella. She's dealing with a Rihanna. I hope you don't mind, Pearl.
No, I don't mind at all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Oompaville, that chick's husband. No, I wish I was Oompaville. Fun fact though, Oompaville is a Chad and a right winger. That's just in the chat. Sorry. What are you guys talking about?
So we're talking about what women got the best outcomes in dating the most popular and most attractive men, because in girl world that's winning. So because women only pick money.
We throw on 1 1/4.
When women are young, they don't pick money.
Yeah.
So what strategies they employed. And I thought of this because Charlie Kirk had a tweet where he quote tweeted a woman saying, sleep around and then find a guy to settle down with. And he said, this is going to leave a lot of women single. And I thought, your wife went to Arizona State University, Charlie. This worked on you. I'm not saying it's a moral thing to do, but you're not going to convince me you were pure if you went to Arizona State.
I mean, they were doing spring break at Lake Havasu. Let me tell you, they were hoeing out on those boats.
Oh yeah,
I've been there.
And she was half naked.
Everybody knows that.
What?
Lake Havasu is the spot. And
hell
also,
yeah.
I don't know how in touch you guys are with Christianity, but I could feel a spiritual whoredom whenever I go to ASU. And I get an aroma. I get like an aroma of STDs and just like disgust.
I agree with you.
So.
No, it's a spiritual thing for sure.
It's totally.
I think it's
Were they being serious here?
Like you can be the most pure,
I believe so.
Like that place will break you.
Well, you know, like Charlie Kirk hates college. He says college is a scam. He tells everybody not to go.
Maybe that's why, because his wife went to.
But like, okay, hold on. But have you ever been to a place where it's like you just?
I've been to ASU.
No, but I'm just saying, like, have you ever been to a place and you're like, oh, shit feels kind of eerie here, like something's
Yeah,
off.
places get like bad vibes.
Yeah,
I
okay,
didn't
that's
get them at
how I
all from
expect them.
ASU. ASU was awesome.
Oh, I had a great time at ASU. Like, man, the women out there were just amazing. Fun. I love,
Yeah.
you know,
So like I heard him say he comes in like this. I hear him say this shit, and I'm immediately not a fan of his. But he like it doesn't last long. I'm like,
not a
what
fan
the
of
dog
who exactly.
of the husband? I'm like,
Oh,
what in the dog shit is this guy talking about? I don't know if you're in touch with Christianity. You can feel a spiritual horde, or I was just like, what is this shit? I still am not sure what this shit is, but
so basically, he's like, what he's getting at is like he's like, just like he said, you could go to like a place that's kind of weird and you just kind of feel like the mood change, like feel like the eeriness of it.
Yeah.
That's what what they're
but-
implying, like when the spiritual element, moodiness, like they feel this.
I'm pretty
"Ugh."
sure he was just projecting his own lust.
Maybe that too. Maybe he had a boner and he was just like, fuck, I just want to get some of that ass.
Now I got to belt it, but can't sit
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, I understand what they're saying in the sense it's like that basically the force, there's a change in the force there, young Skywalker.
Felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. I fear something terrible has happened.
And they sense the change in the force.
I viewed it as a very positive
This could be a
change.
Huh?
I thought it was a great change. I was like, oh damn.
I mean, it was a good change because when I'm there, that's only I was looking for that change. Wasn't looking for, you know what I mean? Like, so
Faceted thing with Charlie.
Well, because my point isn't what's moral, but I'm like, I think a lot of women do that and it works. Like, I don't think you can say that doesn't work.
Yeah,
Because
it really comes down to I was a virgin until marriage. Isabella was not. But it really comes down to not giving a fuck. I mean, like it's always like, obviously if Isabella's body count was super high, I wouldn't go for it. But it's like I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me. You're not the main character. I am. And if you don't think I'm the main character and it's about you, then like get the fuck out of here. So ultimately it's kind of like the blacks do this really well when they have to stay toxic and they like, they get on Instagram and stuff and they're like, stay toxic king, like go fuck your best friend or whatever. It's not necessarily just that. It's just like a mindset of like,
nobody else
Shut up.
matters. It's just you. Yeah. It's like it's your world. It's like you are now in my world, not I'm in your world.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta push back a bit because I think that if you're not actually one of the best that she's had, you can go ahead and like boss up all you want. She's gonna look at you like a clown.
Well, that's right, but you have to be the guy though.
You have to be the guy. Yeah.
Give me a
And
pause.
you have to know if you're the guy. And
I don't know what you call this sector, but the sector where dudes are walking around constantly dwelling on the other dudes girls have fucked is crazy to me.
I know.
That is the most cancerous mindset.
Like, to me, it's like I'm not concerned about what the chick has been with. I'm the only dick that's concerning me right now is the one between my legs. That's my dick. My dick's the only dick that matters. All right. Like, I don't care what dick she's had before.
I gotta think, like, it seems like an oversimplification, but I actually sort of think that a lot of, maybe even most of it is born like out of, if not virginity, like very little sexual experience, because I mean, just sex is different from trying to get the high score on Pac-Man.
No, I agree. It's like, for me, I say, like, if you're gonna engage in sex, make it memorable. Like, why not aim for the the high score?
Yeah, you should. I mean, you shouldn't even worry about, like, just don't even worry about the other scores. You just, I don't know.
I know you're not
And
worrying about the other score,
Even
but
even the worst sex is better than like the best.
the worst sex
Italian
is better than no sex.
The worst sex is better than the best pizza.
I don't know. I don't know about that. The best pizza is good, man.
Katie just gave me a look like she doesn't agree.
Thank you, Katie.
Well, for a guy, the worst sex is still usually pretty good.
The worst sex is still better than no sex at the end of the day. Like, you're still, conquering.
move on to something else.
You just gotta not even worry about that. You'll never know what it's like to take the dick she's taken, but you're the one that she's fucking now. So you
Well, he might. Somebody might end up deciding, I want to know what it's like.
I had that thought right as I was saying it. I was like maybe
you know, if 10th man came up here, he'd be like, no, I do know what it's like for her. So, I mean, kind of.
can assume that you're the best.
Well, like I said, you'll
Right.
know based on how
She treats you.
enthusiastic she is. Yeah, she's
Well, it's
enthusiastic.
how
and
she
you know
treats
you're the
you.
guy.
And,
And that's
and
why
to
I said
women,
numerous times. It's less about the body count. It's more about how does she treat you.
yeah, exactly. And women are hypergamous. It would be silly if you didn't think so. So, I mean, keeping your abstinence and abstaining from having sex with her until marriage is something that she's just going to run to. She's going to want that because every single guy in the past is, if she wanted them, she could get them. It automatically
Here
makes
we
you a
go.
one percenter. And you seem unattainable. And women just love that.
They do.
Oh, you guys don't
Yeah,
agree
bro,
with
you're
that
wrong.
women are
Yeah,
hypergamous?
I gotta disagree. I mean, I've never.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Do you disagree with what he said?
I don't know that I have I don't know that I can dispute it because I don't think that I have a reference point, right? Like I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't sound right to me.
But okay, I could see like if you're the guy on all these other metrics, like you're a top tier guy, and just because you haven't like slung out a bunch of dick and laid out a bunch of hoes out there, right? I still think that factor that like no woman has been able to capture you or been, I guess, of value enough to you to where you would actually want to take that risk. I think that's like a fucking challenge to them. Like I want to be able to get that guy to give me the dick. Like,
you're probably right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, but he already has to have.
But I don't know what age they got married at, right? At some point, it's like,
well, you
what's
got to
wrong
figure
with
these
you?
guys are young. They're probably like late 20s, early 30s, right? So I'm thinking like, if you're not the guy on all other levels, no, it doesn't really matter if you stay a virgin. But if you're a guy that stayed a virgin and you hit all those other levels, like, yeah, I think that women are going to want to throw themselves at you because you are this like, you know, thing that hasn't been able to been conquered. They want to be the one that's been able to get you to give up the D. This is my thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a woman in the chat could weigh in on this.
Yeah, ladies in either one of our chats,
Huh?
let us know if a guy met all of the criteria. Let's just say the average criteria for what women find.
You're building up. You're building it up too much. All else equal, you like the guy, right? But he's a virgin. Is that a plus or a negative? Minus, right?
Well, the other factors have to contribute. Like,
Okay, all right, I'll step back.
so if he meets all of the social factors that women are looking for in men, good, you know, successful, charisma, you know, well known, you know, social circle, all that stuff, and he's a virgin, do women look at that as a challenge to conquer?
The women in my chat are not interested. Okay, namaste the fuck away is looking to conquer that hill.
I got Mel, the Fox, Furby in my chat, and Angry Casper typing the most.
Yeah.
So
Basically, I've got one conqueror, one virgin conqueror, and about 4 or 5. Nah.
I don't have enough women in my chat to make a ruling. I see Beth in here, but Beth is not chatting, so I got a bunch of dudes.
All
right, moving on. Let's just wait till the guy goes crazy. Here we go.
Bro.
It's been a long time since I was a
Big time.
virgin, but I don't.
No,
remember
I would say I think that it works for certain guys that already have all the other Chad-like features or Chad-like, you know, status, and it works for those guys. Because like I said, my friend Mike Mulvaney, one of the Iron Disciples out of Florida, he's in his 30s, single, and he's dated girls that were on Access Vegas that were models and stuff like that, and he would not end up giving the D because he said like they weren't worth my D, you know, like they weren't worthy of it. So I was like,
Yeah, some
All
high
right.
value cock. Let's go.
Yeah, it's like my cock is way too valuable.
Yeah, I think men have low self-esteem a lot of times, and so they just put out and they don't really take sex seriously. And I understand why they wouldn't. But at the end of the day, if you're not a guy who's doing calculations in your head and thinking to yourself, like, if I get her pregnant, you know, what does this look like? What does my child look like? What does our future, our family look like? If you're not making those calculations, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. It's not virtue.
Yeah.
It's
Not every woman is worthy of like carrying your legacy, is what you're saying.
exactly. Yeah. And I grew
Do you agree with that, Flo?
Yeah, but I mean, so I agree with the conclusion, right? Like, you don't really want to knock everybody up, but I don't agree with the headspace. I think that no matter what you believe, whether you believe in creationism or evolution,
Yeah.
I think the fact that our reproductive prime happens before our frontal lobes are developed,
Yeah.
tells you a little bit. You know, you can read into that, and I think, like, anecdotally, I knocked up absolutely the wrong woman, and I absolutely do not regret it. So
No, and I agree with you. Like you could knock up the wrong woman and still get a beautiful child and an amazing and that you would never wish to take back. But you could also say that there are women that you have chose that you may have slept with, but you were like, I do not want to make a mother. Like I do not want them to be my baby mom. Right. So there is like dick control here, right? You're controlling access to your legacy to some degree, whether it's using protection or not, or just
the
nutting all over her
legacy
face.
cope is weird. I don't get the whole legacy obsession in some of these spaces. Like, you're gonna be dead.
I kind of get it in the
I
sense of
kind of get it, but like I don't get it as the prime. Like, they seem to have this as the front thing.
yeah. It's never like my prime thought, but like
No.
there's also like there's been women.
It's an ego thing. It's a pure ego thing to imagine you're something you won't be around for. I don't
But
know.
like there's been women that I've got with that I would never want to get them pregnant. Like never in my life would I ever want them to be my baby mom or be married to them. Because they're just the way their attitude was, or just the way that things went. Just like, I'm so glad I dodged that bullet. But there are other women I'm like, or you'd be like, damn, I want to get her pregnant. I want to knock her up. Okay. And you're like, she's a good one. And I think like that's still picking and choosing. You're being selective. You're not giving every woman your dick.
Blowjobs save lives.
That is true.
up in a broken home. Like I didn't have my biological father around and stuff like that. That's like the last thing I want to repeat is this generational kind of curse of broken homes and
that is
just
true,
a lack
Mrs.
of
B.
a
It does
strong father
not
figure.
stop.
So that's
that.
what's always been
Hey,
important
bro,
to
what
me.
if I told you that it's not up to you?
Hey, what if I told you you were fucking gay?
Who's it up to?
It's not up to you, bro.
Who's it up to?
You think that it's up to you, but it's not. She has control over you because you
She doesn't.
submitted to her.
No.
Oh, the
you're
law
so
says
wrong.
that she does, though.
No.
How
not
did she?
necessarily.
Okay, so this is the part I didn't get. She has control over you. Where's the control?
This is like the epicenter of I don't. They like whip each other up with these fucking horror stories of dudes that they get from old heads who had a bad divorce because they didn't manage it right, and it's like this weird cycle of fear and external locus of control. It's not even right.
I've been through 2 bad breakups. You know what I'm saying? Like in relationships, and I'm still like, know that there's they done shit bad. I done shit bad. Like it wasn't just, it's not all on one person. There's mistakes that both parties make. So it's not like all women bad, all women evil, right? Like there's things that a guy can do to mitigate the risks that he's getting into with any woman.
Like, file first. That's what these dudes like. It's not even a rational position they have. It's a pure religious ideology that family court favors women. Straight up.
Well,
these dudes will not hear anything else.
Well, like, okay, but
I know that we've had different experiences.
But I'm saying, like, when it comes to like, false allegations, because since false allegations are the majority of false allegations are made in family court, that is to weaponize against men. Like,
No.
it's just
No.
Yeah.
You don't think men make false allegations against women?
Oh, I know they do, but 67% of them are made by women. So
okay, that statistic would be impossible to know with any accuracy since we're like
well,
measuring lies.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, no, I'm not even questioning the statistic. I'm just moving straight to rejecting it.
That's fine.
I don't doubt. I do believe that women lie more in divorce court than men, or in family court than men do. I don't believe that statistic is real at all, but I do believe that happens more because that is more of a female tactic, is manipulation, since right, obviously. Yeah. But there's nothing inherently female preferring about that. Men can lie just the same as women can.
Yeah, just believe. Just
the only thing they can't we can't
who's
really
more
do.
Believable.
I mean,
who's more believable? That's what it comes down to. If you're both going to lie,
it depends on the person. It depends on the people. I'm a better liar than my ex is.
I believe that. Are you lying to me right now?
I don't know.
Shit, I believe them too. But I think, like, when I think really what ruins guys is not being prepared for divorce, or not being adequately prepared for what losses that they could actually face in a divorce, and then not taking care by not mitigating those losses before the marriage to begin with. So that makes them subjected to those losses in divorce.
The winner is the person who files first, right? Almost always.
Mm-hmm.
Filing first is a big thing. And just, I mean, a big chunk of why men don't win in family court is because they're not actually trying to win in family court. A lot of them are. Some are. But if you are a man, you have three, and if you're a man and you don't have your kids, there are three options that you can use to explain it. You didn't want them. You didn't try to get sole custody or primary custody. You did try, and the courts found you the less desirable parent, or the courts are biased against men. So 100% of men who don't have custody are going to say the courts are mean, right? It's the only excuse they have that saves face.
Yeah, because then it's like, well, there's nothing I could have done. I'm just a victim. I don't like that mentality, period, because I know there's guys that have paid lawyer fees up to like $1 million to win custody of their children, right? And they had that money to do it. Now, the average guy doesn't have that money to do it. And if we're going to say that's what it's going to cost to win the case every time, well, then, yeah, I can see why most guys will be like, I wasn't in a position, the courts are against me because I can't afford the lawyer to whatever, in that sense. I could see that. But I do agree with you on paper. The courts are fair. They are pretty 50-50. Even in the rulings, a lot of the times the guys actually defer letting the mom have the child primary so that they could work, because that's what they were doing before, and being like the weekend dad. So most guys are fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Like most dads, they don't want to be mom. They're not. I mean, that's yeah. It's an entirely different paradigm and I can say that, like, when I say that lots of guys don't want to be the primary custodian, the primary parent, I'm not saying that with any shade. It makes actually a ton of sense.
It is, because you're the workhorse. You go to work. That's all you do. You know what? The 10 hours or whatever hours you're at work, that's your main job. That's what you do. You provide that. You have to do that to take care of all the other financial stuff that you're obligated to your family. So when you have to be the sole, primary caregiver and do all that, you're like, fuck, hold on. How can I make my life easier? Okay, mom can have the kids. Let me do what I do. And then I'll see the kids on the weekends. They're just trying to mitigate the problem. They're just trying to make life an easy transition. They don't want to complicate their life more than they want, than it is.
The other thing I would say, and maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but as far as, well, they're about to get into the financial stuff. Like, go ahead.
Yeah. Here we go. How does he have, or she have control over him?
Once the baby's
she's
born,
saying that you can't sleep around with other women.
Who said that?
She has
said
control
that
over you. Yeah, did you say that?
The contract says it.
What contract?
Yeah, the contract says that you can't sleep with other women. But guys, she can leave you at any time that she wants, brother.
You can leave her
not
at
up
any time.
to you. You have no control.
Yeah, it's gonna cost them.
Marriage
It's gonna
contracts
benefit her.
work the same in both directions.
Okay, hey,
No,
you
if
know,
you have the exact
What?
same,
Have you been married?
value, I guess, or worse.
No, and I never
I
will get
have.
married because I'm not stupid.
I have.
I'm
and
not
I've been
dumb.
divorced, and I can
I'm
tell
not
you
a
they work the
retard.
same in both directions.
I'm not this
And I've got
idealistic
custody of my daughter. I've
idiot.
had custody since she was 2. So
W.
all your yapping and all your victim
But
bullshit,
that's
you
not
don't
what
know what you're talking about. You're just coping for being a fucking loser.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it is, brother. That's what it
Okay,
is.
That is
yeah,
what
we
it
know
is.
that's what it is. We know that.
Just because I'm not married, I'm a loser. See, that's
No, it's
that's
because
why
you talk
guys
like a
get
loser.
wrecked.
You act
guys
like a
get
loser right
wrecked.
now.
Okay, so right there, that's like, what is that called? You know, when they try to twist it to say like nobody said that he's
Straw
a
man.
loser because bad straw man. He's straw manning that. Nobody's saying he's a loser because he's not married. No, he's a loser for the mindset that he holds, that he's going to be a victim of women.
The external locus of control.
Yeah.
So
we can
hard.
also
There's
be
nothing we
broken,
can do. Oh my gosh, women
We're
own
the
us.
victims. We're victims.
I
We're,
don't
we
think
like
he
men
does
now.
that.
We're gay.
How are you already a
Well,
victim?
when you
You
say-
haven't even had a bad divorce.
When you say that
What
your
are you
women
talking
own
about?
you,
You have to go through a divorce.
You're a
You can't just see
pre-victim.
other people. You can't just look and use your eyes and use your brain.
guys.
hold on, let me.
Guys, you have to be
Just real fast, real
Stupid.
fast. Like the thing with divorce is, because here's the thing with red pill channels, we can say, guys, don't get married, don't get married. In our lifetime, most guys are still gonna get married and they're still gonna have kids. It's just the biggest part about it is, you know what could happen, and if you make a decision, don't bitch and complain if it doesn't work out well. There isn't risk. There's no reward without risk. If that's what you choose to do. My biggest problem is guys who go into marriage and then their wife leaves or they scoot over and they act shocked. Men, we can get divorced. We can bounce back. I've been married before. I've been divorced. I can afford another divorce if I choose to get married again. Understand what I'm saying? So, like,
Exactly.
here's the thing. Marriage is just, if you decide to get married, which most guys will, there's no excuse for you to be like, I can't believe she did that. Why not? There are
Well, here's
happily
the other thing,
married
there's
men out
ways of-
there. There are men who get screwed. Just make sure that you count for all the variables if you choose to do it. That's all I'm saying.
But there's ways there's ways to maneuver things to where that you mitigate the risks.
I
Like-
agree.
Like, you know, put all your assets in a trust before you even get married. All right. An irrevocable trust, and then get an LLC and then pay yourself from the LLC. Now, the business owns your finances. The trust is secure. All your assets are secure in the trust. So then you get divorced. Oh, well, what is she getting?
I want to give, because David hasn't really had a lot of time to talk, so I wanted to give him a little more time to finish his thought. Go ahead.
I just think if you care about.
Hey, give me a
body
pause.
count,
Let's talk about that.
you're-
Let's talk about
you're- you shouldn't even care.
all that financial nonsense that came out of your mouth.
Yeah. So,
Get together when you're poor.
that works too. But most of the time, you're not meeting your woman or whatever, like right when you're poor. Like you meet them somewhere in life and as you're building, whether it's either as you're building or once you build, right? So what Thor did, because he was married first and then he went through divorce and he took a L. What he did before he got married the second time was he put all of his assets into a trust, like the house, his vehicles and stuff like that. So anything that was valuable that he was going to lose, he already protected them. And that way you're not taking as much of a risk. You're mitigating some of the losses. Now, sure, would he have to pay his wife alimony if they got divorced later on? Absolutely. I mean, they've been married 30 years before he passed away. There would still be some losses he would take, but he would mitigate the losses rather than her being able to take half of all of your assets.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that this fear is actually largely unfounded. Even though you can lose a lot in divorces, it's expensive. The fact of the matter is that married men make more than unmarried men.
Well, because they have to.
I don't think that's why.
Well, yeah, they do, because they're the ones that are going to be more ambitious to move up the ladder, because why? They have more responsibility to pay for. If you're a single guy and you don't have that many responsibilities, you're kind of like, I don't want to work today. Fuck, I'm going to call in sick.
And I mean, I
Married
think
guys-
that is the distinct. I think that's the kind of a splitting thing, because there's lots of dudes who have those responsibilities and don't do them, right? There's lots of guys who got baby mamas and kids, and they don't give a fuck, and they don't take on the responsibilities. And then there's guys that do, right? So I think that we're really just describing a difference in temperament or approach.
I want to say the average guy is going to be motivated by the fact that he has these duties and responsibilities to take care of his wife and his kids. They are dependent upon them. and that's why they work harder to move up the ladder to make more money. I think it has a lot to do with the need of.
And I think that the type of dude that will take on those responsibilities and adopt, right, take them on as his, is the type of dude that will also try to make more money regardless of. But also lifestyle changes, right? You're not going out, you're not partying, you're not like looking to fill your time and energy with it's just different lifestyles.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, I think there's a little bit of both in there. But I think like socially we expect the guy that has more kids to be responsible for his kids. And if that means if he's making $20 an hour and if he just put in a little bit more extra effort, he can make $30 an hour, right? You would think that guy is going to do that. Now, the guy that's single, that doesn't have kids and doesn't want to have kids and is just comfortable doing what he's doing, he's not going to be as inclined as much to get the $30 an hour unless it's internal that he wants it, right? The guy that's married is more of external influences going to be, motivating that compared to just the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I still think I'm right.
I think you're wrong.
Because they're all hoes. All women are hoes, bro. And like a good example is bro who's married up here. Like, bro, you're married. Another man had your woman before you. You're literally a cuck, brother. You're a cuckold.
Okay,
I've had other women before her.
So
So
like,
what is your plan?
No,
What is
I'm
your
talking
plan?
about dude who was a virgin. Dude who's a virgin
him?
until marriage, and then he got with a woman who had other men before him, and
And
he's
how
like,
does that make
"Oh,
him
I'm
a
a
cuck?
winner."
How does that make him
Bro,
a
you're
cuck,
not a
though?
winner. You're a cuckold, bro. Dudes like
How
me
does that
laugh
make
at
him
you,
a cuck?
bro.
So you're gonna be
I would
forever
laugh at
alone.
you.
Try to.
I want to know.
You can keep
guys at the
laughing.
bottom,
I'm
like,
laughing
how does
right
that
back.
make
I'm gonna
him a
keep
cuck?
laughing.
Okay, let's not like name call. I just,
Okay,
you know,
keep laughing.
I just want to know, like, by what definition does that make him a cuck?
Is it too soon to
Because
ask who hurt
another
you?
man was inside his woman before
Okay.
he was.
But you said all women are hoes, right? So then therefore you
Yes.
should always assume that there's always been another penis inside her.
Right.
And now there's no more penis inside her but yours. So how does that a cuck? Because a cuckold is somebody that's raising a child that's not his under the impression that it is his. So how is he a cuck?
He's a cuck because another man had his woman before he
So
did.
if he should have only married a virgin. So any guy that got with the
He
girl
shouldn't have
that's
gotten
not a
married at
virgin-
all, bro. I don't tell guys to get married. I tell
But then
guys to stay away from that
sleep with
shit.
girls. Do you sleep with guys or girls? And if you sleep with girls, do you sleep with girls who are virgins or who aren't virgins? And if they're not a virgin, do you kiss
Why do
girls
you
who suck
care? Why
another
does it
man's dick
matter?
or not?
Why does
Because
it? What
your
difference
cuck
does it
logic,
make?
your cuck logic makes you a cuck too.
No, it
Very much
doesn't.
so.
I'm not
Yeah,
married.
huh.
I'm not taking care
Have
of
you
a
kissed a
woman
girl
who's
who
had
has sucked
other
a cock?
men. I'm not taking care of a
Ew,
woman.
you got dick breath, bro.
Bro,
She's
you
had
literally
other dudes
dated a
inside her.
girl who sucked another man. Oh my gosh.
That means
By
you
your
sucked a
logic
dick.
of cuckery, everybody is always going to be a cuck.
No, sir, that's wrong because I'm not taking care of this woman. I might
You're,
sleep with
you're,
her,
you're
sure.
appealing to her to get her in bed with you. So then you are.
No, I'm
seem
not.
like you slept
No,
with
I'm not.
anybody in a
That's
while.
your
You get that.
strategy, brother. That's
Well,
your strategy. I don't
said
appeal
who?
to women to get
Bro,
them to
you
sleep
said-
with me, bro. I don't need to do
This
that.
is such low IQ bullshit. You said that if another man's penis has been inside of your girl,
Yes.
you're a cuck. That was your logic.
Yes.
And then
If you
said,
marry her,
Wait,
if you
wait, wait,
married
wait.
her-
But I don't
you
take care of
married
her.
her.
I don't take care of her. I don't give her anything
You
in
do take
return.
care of her.
I
You
just
take care of
use
this
her.
woman.
So I'm the real winner. You're not. You're not the real winner. You're
If
still
you're not taking care of your wife, then why are you even married? I do that's a logical fallacy right there. That makes no
Exactly.
sense.
You're proving my point for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't necessarily agree with this because in today's day and age, it takes two incomes, right? And we know that the majority of families have two incomes. Husband and wife are both working for the most part. So how is he the sole one taking care of her? He's not.
Yeah, and good.
But I'm just saying, so this is not the 1950s. This is not the,
This is I mean, this doesn't even make sense. That's not even what a cuck is.
exactly. And that's why I try to
so-
explain what a cuckold was. And
I never got like a solid answer out of him either. Like what? Okay, if that makes him a cuck, then like, what is your plan for yourself? Are you forever alone? Are you gonna try to find, because he's not that old, but he's probably kind of old to be looking for virgins, and how does he avoid being a cuck in his own life? Because that dude, I don't care what the fuck he says, he did not have the energy of somebody who's gotten laid recently at all.
yeah. No, he just seems like a guy that just tends to like hate women. or he just sees women as their adversary, like they are an enemy.
Which is crazy because women are pretty cool allies.
They can be. They can be. Now they can be also be the most worst nightmare in the world. If you get a woman scorned, yeah, it's a bad day for you.
Yeah, she might knife you while you sleep, but you shouldn't have been a douche. You shouldn't have been a douche, probably.
Well, you shouldn't have fucked her friend in her dream. Okay, if you just had better dick control in her dream, you wouldn't have got stabbed. Right. So it's funny, but it gets
like you're literally proving my point for me. You're taking care of a woman who's had.
So what is your strategy now? Are you gonna?
What is my strategy?
Yeah, going forward, looking at the rest of your life, are you gonna?
Why do you care about me so much? This isn't.
I'm curious about you. We're on a panel. We're talking to each other. I want to know what your plan is.
What my plan is?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna cuck up or are you gonna forever alone?
That's my plan. I don't have any other plans outside of that.
I didn't hear what you said.
My plan is to get filthy fucking rich. I don't care about women, bro. I don't try to appeal to women.
All
right. Well, I read that one.
Let's say you reach that filthy rich level. What is that? What does that get you? What does the filthy rich get you?
It gets me everything I want, bro. I get a warm bed to sleep in. I get food.
I
need, bro.
So okay, I'm sure he's not rich right now, right? But I'm sure he has a warm bed to sleep in. I think it's behind him, honestly. So like, this is what I don't understand about people think that if I'm just rich, right? Now money makes things a lot easier. You're able to use money as a resource, and you could acquire things, and that could help you and put you in different positions because it's still a utility. But money doesn't make them respect you more. Money doesn't make women appreciate you. Like it doesn't
actually.
Money,
I don't remember what I was listening to. Rich guys get cheated on by their wives
a lot
more than non-rich guys because she married you for your money. She's for sale. And that's what you lead with, right?
Yeah. A lot of guys lead with that.
Which is I would suggest. I mean, if you've got other assets or traits, like if you're charming, if you're good looking, whatever, I would suggest not leading with your money.
Yep.
That's gonna fuck you up.
What up, AJ? AJ was watching it and he hit me up and told me about. So you know how he was like super aggressive and anti, like women are this, women are this. AJ, tell Flo what you told me.
Oh, dude, he was just being like super agreeable and like super simpy with Pearl once it was just him and Pearl and the producer dude.
Oh yeah,
yeah, right before Pearl ended it.
I don't watch shit without me in it.
All right, so I have all that, and I have to
dead end. Your legacy dies. That's embarrassing.
Because
let's have decorum, guys. Okay, let's have decorum. Let's have decorum. Let's have decorum here. Everybody should calm down. Let's have decorum. Let's have decorum, bro. Let's have a little bit of a chill. Yeah, let's have decorum. Go ahead.
Shiv, Shiv, like you're a millionaire. You already hit that goal. You're filthy rich. How does it solve all your problems?
It doesn't. You just have more problems.
Well, I think what he's trying to say though is like you're not in control of your bloodline because if you have a kid, the odds are your kids aren't going to have kids. Like because the birth rate's like 1.6 right now, and it's not going to get better. Like there's people born.
So
she is such a Debbie Downer.
So here's I don't agree with this because that means when the birth rate was low before, it actually ended up changing. There was an event that took place that changed, that caused people to get the humping, and then people started humping more. Like we see this flow, it goes up and down. It has never been this low. Okay, it has never been as low as it has now.
Maybe it has. I haven't paid. I don't know the
From what I understand, like it has never dropped as low as it is now. But because most families used to have a minimum of like 3 to 4 kids, right? So now the average is like 1. So that would make it pretty low.
Right. It's in America over the last 100 years it's dropped. I think we can say that safely. But no, I agree with you. Pendulums swing both ways, and I think that we're seeing actually kind of a pretty strong rejection of the kind of over the top liberal nonsense that we've had the last, 10 years, however long it's been.
Yeah. Like, I mean, so
I think that my daughter's generation is more conservative than ours is.
You know what? And I wouldn't disagree with you. I think that there's certain, but see now, when are we saying conservative as in like they're just abstaining from having sex, or are we saying conservative as in like they actually lean with more conservative values?
What I'm saying is that they're tired of the woke propaganda that gets shoved down their throats their whole lives, and they are pushing the other way. Like my daughter's 15, and what she want to be when she grows up? Ask me. She wants to be a trophy wife.
Smart.
It's right. I mean, it's better than you know, a lot of other things. She had a friend. She's not really friends with him anymore, but she had a friend who's a gay guy, her age. And during Pride Month, he was walking around ripping down the little pride flags off of the school wall, because even everyone is so sick of being propagandized with this stuff their whole lives that they're just kind of pushing back against it. And I think that that's hell. I mean, that's a big part of what a lot of our internet communities are, right? Like there's a whole lot of people who are pushing back against the wokeism, the woke insanity.
So here's the other thing. Okay, like, how do you know, like, if you had kids, that your kids will not have kids in the future? I don't think that's a variable. I don't think it's a variable that we could actually account for.
I think the odds are actually the other way around, right? It's probably it's gonna go. You know, who knows?
Well, anyways, I guess like historically, what is it? 60% of men that have not reproduced.
This is such a speculative and insignificant point that,
and like,
I just don't know there's anything to do with it.
And if so is it by having kids? Does it really matter if your kid chooses not to have kids? Like, how does that really impact or affect your life?
Directly, it doesn't. Legacy wise, yeah, I can see the argument there.
But here, let's
but that's out of your hands. That's the point, I think, right?
It's what I'm saying. Yeah,
there's nothing you can do if your kids don't want to fuck. Then that's on them. You can't. You've done your part. No,
you can't control. You can't force your kid to get pregnant or force them to get someone pregnant. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm just saying what goes through the minds of those people.
Like I would, yeah. I mean, ideally, you'd be like, yeah, you would love to have grandkids, and you would love to have your legacy to continue. But if your children don't want to do that, that you can't. Yeah, it's not under your control. It's not your power. You have no ability to do anything about it. So you're worrying about something that you have no control over. That to me is like wasting time.
Absolutely.
I think it was Bach. He had 10
That's
kids.
what
He has
these
no
dudes love
living
to do.
descendants 200 years later. So you're not even in control of that.
Right.
I don't really like. I don't.
From you at any moment, she can just wake up one day. Oh, I don't love him anymore.
Yeah, but but my point is more like
I'm gonna just back him up a little bit here. And the other thing is, it's very much up to the discretion of the judge, because I've had interviews with guys, and like, I mean, there's nothing they could do. They got a feminist judge.
You should interview me sometime. I had a fantastic.
Sure.
I'm also
something like men are.
Did it glitch out there?
You could have had a really good divorce with a
right now. Did you see that?
Yeah, was that like us here, or was that during the stream there?
Us here, I think, because I just tried to click this. I just tried to click this guy's comment. And then next thing you know, it glitched.
Well, I mean, I'd prefer it that way, because I wanted her audience to hear that I've had a fantastic divorce. She doesn't. I'm not under the impression that she's particularly interested in interviewing guys who had good divorces where shit went well for them. It seems like she caters to the other side of that equation.
Yeah, by
I mean,
standards, I even got away with a good divorce with only having to pay like, I think, $2,000 in alimony total, and I paid, I think, probably another $500-$600 in filing and restraining orders against one of her dudes.
I filed. I got no alimony. I got custody. All she got was the '94 Honda Accord, which was a great.
And it was a Honda Accord. Everybody knows the Civics are the best.
Look, that Accord, if she still had it, wherever the Accord is, it's probably still got the same, running on the same half tank of gas I gave it to her with.
Yeah, it's probably running with the factory oil.
Right.
doesn't really minimize the guys that like lose their kids every
But my
year.
point is
some
that
guys-
there's always in any divorce there's going to be a loser, and it seems to be the attitude of like douchebags like this that it's always the guy, but it's not always the guy. It's
Majority of the time it is though.
Majority of the time.
Because, yeah.
No, the whole
I know
point
some
is,
guys-
though,
not
the whole
women, but
point
I know
is,
some guys that have gotten destroyed.
Yeah.
Like,
And I still got the
So
question,
this is
why do we-
Flo
why
is
do we draw the
getting
dichotomy?
Flo's getting beat up right here. You know, he's taking his punches because, let's face it,
bro. They're not punching me. They're punching them damn selves. Oh, we don't have any power. Oh, the guys get beat up.
So I mean,
Oh.
you did say like, because you factored in like earlier, you said like if a guy loses, it's because he didn't either want it, didn't want the children, right? B, what was the, you gave the 3 options, like the courts are against them, or the judge found them not, the best, caregiver for the child, right? Is that how you worded it?
Yes.
Okay. So the way I look at it is like, if the man lost, it's because he didn't prepare. He wasn't prepared. He thought, just going in there and the judge is going to just rule in their favor or whatever.
Probably went in there and thought he was going to lose.
That's true too. Maybe he thought like, oh, everybody else tells me I'm just going to lose, so I'm just going to go in there and just take the L that they're going to give me. Why pay for a lawyer? Why go through that if I'm just going to get an L at the end of the day? Well, you could still mitigate your losses by getting a lawyer.
The best way to beat an enemy or an opponent in anything is to demoralize them and beat them psychologically before you ever have any confrontation, right? So all that this narrative and rhetoric is doing is just helping dudes lose immediately and faster. It's crazy self-defeating.
I mean, in a way, you could almost say like this mentality actually is.
Are you wearing a leather jacket?
Yeah.
Okay.
You like it? I got a red one too.
I do.
I got my high school one in the closet somewhere.
And I like the way you said it's the mentality, right? So if you already go in there thinking you're going to lose, you're going to lose. Just like a fighter. If a fighter is not confident in himself when he goes into the ring and he thinks he's going to lose, more often than not, they lose. They don't have the killer mindset. Like, I'm going to win by any means necessary mindset. It's like,
even if I got to fuck you.
Whoa.
In boxing.
Okay.
What?
Do you want to win or do you want to win?
Do I want to? They're both wins.
I'm just
I don't
saying.
want no fucking.
Me of that, either you got to get married or you're going to be alone forever. Like,
Yeah,
I've
bro,
been
I
in
hate that
mostly-
shit.
I've been in
Stop
mostly
that shit,
long-term
bro.
relationships,
Okay.
a lot of which have lasted longer than some of my friends' marriages.
So I when I ask about marriage, when I speak about marriage, I guess I'm assuming that long-term life, relationships does count, whether or not you got the piece of paper in my mind.
That's the way I look at
LTRs.
it.
LTRs. Because Flo is an LTR.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would advise not to get married on paper. Do it through the church, like this dude up here said.
Covenantal marriage.
Have your money in the trust. There was this guy I talked to when I was 15. He was an architect in California, and he told me he got a divorce, and she owed him money, even though he was a well-off architect in LA, because his mom owned his business, and he lowered his pay, and he kept low pay. Listen, guys, there's tons of ways to hide your books. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. This is how you beat the system, and there's a lot of successful men who have done it, and the women can't really touch them and mess with them. It seems.
And I don't think that's wrong with that. I think what he's saying is right. And I think there are ways that guys can protect their assets if they're concerned about losing assets.
Yeah.
If they're concerned, if that's what the first thing they say, like, oh, I don't want to get married because I don't want her to take half. So what you're saying is, I don't want to lose what I have already, what I have acquired so far, and I don't want to risk losing that in a marriage. Fine. There are ways that you could protect that shit so you could mitigate the loss that you're potentially going to be putting yourself into.
Glenn,
And again,
here's the thing that's a big misconception that I see a lot in these spaces online. It kind of drives me nuts, and because I'm too small of a creator, and aka I don't fucking create shit, I've felt in the past that it was unnecessary for me to speak out and tell them that they're wrong. But if you have assets before the marriage, and say you get married and then you get divorced, those assets are still yours after the marriage because it's called separation property, and the judge is going to award you your house that you bought before the marriage anyways.
Yep. I still think
Yeah.
you're better off getting,
I'm not
getting
saying
together when you're poor and then building.
I'm not saying don't
No,
put it in.
I
a,
agree
in a
with you, Flo.
trust
That's
or anything.
ideally. What were you saying,
Well, I mean,
AJ?
it's
I'm
not
saying-
obviously ideally though, because there's a whole like most dudes that I hear talking about this shit say, get your bag first and then get a family. And I don't think that's right at all. I think that you should build that shit together.
Yeah, like those what they say, they say marry young, marry poor. Like if you're both just starting off and you build your empire together, we see that has worked for some, but at the end of the day, still having protection, if you're concerned about losing anything, then have protection by protecting your assets, by putting them in a trust, by doing that. There's ways you can move around it if you're not starting off poor. That's all I'm saying. There's ways that you can move around it if you're not in that poor situation, Flo. So,
like they can, but I've seen a lot of times they can't.
Hey, brother, I'll say this, brother. I'll say this. I kind of feel bad for you because I really predict, like, I've been quiet overall, bro, just listening. I really predict, bro, you're going to have a crash out divorce, man. You're going to be in bad shape in 2-3 years, bro. I feel really bad for you, man. I really, really do. And I'm not joking, man. Based on everything the way.
Oh, is that you talking or that
all I said was that this guy is such a hater. It just made me laugh.
Yeah.
He's talking about. I feel really, bro. Listen. Yeah, I've been quiet, but you're gonna have a really, really, really bad time, brother. But hey, man, that's your decision. That's what you made.
Okay, I hate the fact that these guys are they're just assuming right out the gate that Josiah and Isabella's marriage is gonna be horrible, that it's gonna end, and he's gonna go through this horrible divorce, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why so doom and gloom? Like, like, are they trying to make him like regret the decision that he made? Like, what would they want him to do? Like, hey guys, okay, oh man, you made a horrible divorce. You know what? Just get divorced. Just get divorced. That's stupid.
Wait, what? I
just don't know what they like by shaming him or trying to say like, oh, you're gonna.
No. That's what I said. It's just pure haterade.
And it's like, okay, what did they want him to do? Just divorce her now? Just file for divorce, break up with her, and just like, all right.
They're just that dude is just putting straight bad juju in the energy in the environment. That's what I'm saying. Most of these guys have external locuses of control. They're identity victims, and they don't like to see other people succeed. They don't. It antagonizes them to hear it. It antagonizes them to see that dude's in a happy marriage. It antagonizes them to see I had a good divorce. They don't want to hear this shit. Misery loves company, and to that point, like I kind of wonder what we're even doing, wasting our time trying to convince these people to do something they don't want, like be happy.
The thing is, like, they have to realize that they're part of their own problem, and they don't. Most of these guys, they don't ever factor in that they are part of their own problem.
They are the entirety of their own problem.
Well, they're the common denominator in all of their problems. But when it comes to like relationships, that they do play a role in the end or the breakdown of a relationship.
But regardless of who's to blame for it,
it's not about blame.
Right. The blame doesn't matter, right? Oh, people want to get into the blame thing. It's women's fault. It's not my fault. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. The fact of the matter is that it's your problem.
Yep. And really what it is like, as you said, it doesn't matter who's to blame. You are to blame for not preparing and protecting your assets, period, before even getting into it. Like, if you're that concerned, again, if you're that heavily concerned about what you're going to lose by taking the risk, and if you don't protect your assets, you don't do the work to put your assets in protection, and then if you get married and you lose them, that's your fault for being stupid.
I mean, I think you'd have to have a significant amount of money for that to really, like, I would think to be what you should be worrying about. I just don't believe in living life fearfully. Of course, I could probably use a little bit more caution personally in my approach, but
Yeah, I just think that, if there's something that I'm afraid of or if something I'm concerned about that could hurt me in any way, I ride with a helmet on my motorcycle. Why? Because if
You're a
I do get
pussy.
in an accident, I don't want my brains everywhere. I want to be able to try to protect myself to some level of degree, right? That's why I wear a helmet. So you put some protections in place so that you could mitigate the injury or the loss that you're going to sustain.
Mhm.
I don't think that's living in fear. I think that's just being wise.
I'm not your brother.
Most men want that. They want to be wrecked. They want
Right.
That's why it takes 2 divorces for them to actually wake up, because they want to be lied to. They want to believe,
I agree.
this woman that's had other dudes before me, she's gonna be loyal to me and only love me, especially once I give her the sex and I give her the kids.
The guy with that, Isabel Louis husband, you just have to realize that, like, I'm not saying anything bad about your dynamic, but the fact that you were a virgin and your wife wasn't, that's not conventional. So there's always going to be some kind of pushback. I think it's good that because I think that kids should be born in the context of a marriage. I think that you're better to have had a kid in a marriage and gotten divorced. At least you're trying to raise a child in the best context of having children. If I were to, I don't want children, but if I were to ever have children, I would try to get married to have children, at least give that a chance. So, like, but you have to understand that your dynamic is uncommon and unconventional. I'm not saying it's bad or good, but, like, because everyone knows about the male dating strategy and how men will want to sleep with a bunch of women, but then women want to lock down. It's just that whole dynamic, and your dynamic is just so unconventional. That's what it is. I'm not.
I'm just saying, you can do what you want to do. You can do what you want to do, brother. But don't try to sell that shit to other men. That's where I get pissed off. Is don't try to sell that shit to real dudes like me, because we're not buying.
What makes you a real dude?
You're a real man.
We're not buying.
Hey, dude, I love.
Hold on. Like, I would say this, Josiah.
Man.
Josiah, like,
yeah, I am.
Just like in every relationship, if you are not leveling up, if you're not maintaining that position in your woman's eyes, then yes, you will risk, like any guy would risk her losing interest or losing confidence in him being the best choice. But if you maintain being the best option that she always sees because you're putting in the work, leveling yourself up for you, then your game is good. You're in a much better position than anybody else would be. That's how you look at it. And
all of that's a fallacy. Let me tell you something. If you say, "Oh, you're an alpha, you're this, you're that, you're this and the third,"
who said anything
eventually
about?
she gets bored. We all get bored. That's the.
All right. So, AJ, Flo, what was wrong with what I said? How is that a fallacy? Did I say that you're guaranteed that you're going to be good? I said you're going to put yourself in a better position than anybody else.
Well, this goes back to the whole thing where people listen to respond and not listen to understand. He was not wanting to understand you at all. He was trying to argue with you on that one, where you were going down the right path, where it's like, because you mentioned here in a little bit in there, like, hey, it's not to level up for you, or for them, it's to level up for yourself.
Yeah.
Yep, these are dudes that are determined to lose, and they will.
Well, I think they still put the woman as the mental point of origin, or like the control factor.
Well, yeah,
if you're leveling up, I'm not leveling up for her. I'm leveling up for myself, because I have pride in myself. I want to do better. I want to continue to grow.
Which really goes to show that the entire mindset they're bringing to the table is so simpish and pussy on a pedestal that it's like I don't know. It's like how most like diehard atheists, it seems like, are really like Christians who are mad at God.
Yeah.
I feel like the anti-simps are just the biggest simps.
Yeah, and I agree. What up, Sasquatch?
I feel like this entire approach to women is basically choosing your side on the victimhood path. You choose to be a victim of everything that you desire. Because the guy says he wants a woman. At the same time, there is no woman that's good enough for him. So who's he lying to, us or himself?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of interesting. Yeah, Mrs. D, Josiah is married to Isabella Moody, right? And their marriage is a covenantal marriage. They got married through the church, not through the state. So there's no marriage license.
Which also doesn't make sense, right? Especially if you've got kids. If you are like, I mean, just there's legal shit that you want done. If you need to make a medical decision, if something happens to them, you want inheritance. If you get divorced and want to establish as a father that you have,
you can still apply. You can still put all those
Right.
factors in place.
You could do a whole bunch more other work.
Yes.
Right. So there's no point in avoiding the government shit, because what you should do is avoid the church shit, A, because that shit ain't real, but especially B, because that shit doesn't actually have any pragmatic function. There are pragmatic functions that being legally married do for you that you still need done. So to avoid legal marriage, all you're doing is giving yourself a whole bunch more work to get the same.
Yes, but see, the thing is, you're putting yourself through a whole bunch of more work, but you're not opening yourself to this blanket. If these are the guys that are concerned about their assets and what they're going to lose, okay, that's what I'm pointing out. So if they're concerned about losing assets of value, right, they don't want to do the whole blanket open the marriage thing, because that means will risk losing those assets that they acquired prior to the marriage. So if they're smart and they just put those assets in a trust, right, then those things are secured. It doesn't matter what happens after the marriage. They're good.
Yeah. I mean, yes, that's correct, but you have to have a lot of money. I just don't feel like we're not. I feel like we're talking maybe one person in the audience. For the vast majority of dudes, they're just finding another fear to hide behind. Right? They don't really have enough money for this to be a factor.
No, I agree.
Just get a secret savings account at a different bank and don't tell her about it if you're that worried about it. Just stash some money away there.
I do think most men are not in the position to worry about losing, because it's probably going to take both of their income to purchase the house that they live in to begin with. It's probably going to take both of their income to get the vehicles, pay for the vehicles that they have to begin with. Like, so most people are not coming in with a bunch of assets or valuable assets into marriage to begin with. They're things that they end up acquiring over time with both of their income. So yes, I don't think for the majority of people that this is a concern, but it still would be smart, even if you did come in with nothing, but you purchased, maybe you have these gun collections that you like that are expensive. Put your guns in that trust. I mean, you could still do it and maneuver and protect yourself.
Right.
That's all I'm saying is they could do it.
And it's not even that complicated. Like, it's not that hard to figure out how to do it either.
Oh, it's not. It really isn't.
So, I mean, I just think that for basically anybody who's bringing this concern to Pearl's panel, you don't need to worry about it at all. For the one person who might be watching that does have enough resources for that to be a concern, he already knows that he needs to get an accountant and a lawyer.
Yeah,
that actually makes huge sense that this is Pearl's panel. I mean, she went and found absolute specimens of the concept she was wanting to work with. That makes huge sense. I was wondering, where did they find these people? That makes sense.
Yeah, I do want her to interview me. I would like to see how she handles somebody who had actually a great experience with the divorce courts. Family court's been great to me several times. Of course, my ex is a little nutty, but
that's the thing, right? That was like the factor that contributed, like her being a little psycho, kind of like worked in your favor.
Yeah, my ex is psycho, but I mean, so am I though, right? Like, I had to get custody twice because I lost it.
Let's be honest. People saying their ex is psycho is usually a red flag, but sometimes they're right.
Yeah, true. I'm reading this guy's comment. Says, are y'all choosing to be positive or just going into the grind mode to escape this mindset? Because when it gets hard, it's easy to go back into it.
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, neither do I.
If he's talking about the grind mode as in making money instead of having relationships, no. I have a wife and a girlfriend, so I'm not sure I'm the right person to have this conversation.
And they're both his cousins.
Oh, that's just because I'm from Georgia, bro.
That's that Georgia shit.
One's black, one's white, and they might both be my cousins. I don't know.
And they both call you daddy, which is weird.
Damn sure do.
I'm trying to wonder. I'm trying to figure out what he means by the grind mode. Like, you should be grinding the whole time. When are you not grinding? If you're not trying to grind to keep things going,
I think he is assuming that you're not grinding anytime you're actually working with a woman. That you're being with a woman instead of doing the man things that men are supposed to do, but that's not the case. Like Dusty says, and I agree with this 100%. I don't understand how someone could think, okay, well, I'm going to put my money together. I'm going to get my stacks up. I'm going to grab that bag, and then I'm going to find me a woman. Okay. And then you have a horrible experience because you hooked up with a gold digger who saw you with a bunch of money and was like, I'll give him exactly what he wants until I get the ring. Poof, half your stuff gone.
Plus, I mean,
Go ahead. If you work together in the relationship to build a life, both sides have incentive to increase that wealth, to increase that drive. Both of you are on the grind.
That's correct.
Yeah, but okay.
The point is to have a partner to live your life together, right? Well, what's the idea, or what's the point of living your life alone, and then once you okay, I got to the finish line, now we can hang out, right? Like it just, I don't know, it's backwards, it's backwards.
But I don't think most people meet their significant other in their teens. Is what I'm saying. Is
no,
like
you don't have to,
or their early 20s. Like
they're
that's the thing. Like it's not like, oh, now that we're together, we're going to build this empire. Well, you should have been working on it prior to.
Agree. I do think though that it would behoove people to start like mentally dragging down the start of adulthood younger, because right now we got motherfuckers think that they're not an adult until they're like 30, right? When you're finally done with all your schools and this and that and off your parents' insurance, and at that point, like, you better start having raw sex quickly.
I choose that all the time, but that's just all right, get over here. This. Here we go.
That's the big thing. It doesn't matter. I mean, you basically saying that you have to do springboards and cartwheels for the rest of your life, man and woman.
Where do you
get who's he listening to?
Okay.
I said if he maintained leveling up for himself, achieving, just keep on moving up, not getting stagnant, not getting complacent, right? If he's putting in the work day in and day out, and she sees that he is the best option that she has every day, then she will he has a better choice.
Well, and he has a better chance, but just in general, like. And
I never said anything was guaranteed.
I don't. Okay.
Stop interrupting Pearl, please. Stop interrupting Pearl. Everyone, stop talking. Go ahead.
But that's all I said is like he puts himself in a better position at not risking, having to worry about the wife leaving or taking half by maintaining being the best option that she sees.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just think that like the whole orientation of their mindset is so fear-based that they need, like, my responses are going to be entirely the opposite direction, right? And I feel like I feel like you're kind of in the middle between the two.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to be worried about what you can lose, then wouldn't that be the smartest thing to do is to put yourself in the best position to be successful?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yes, you're telling them how to address their fears.
Yeah,
correctly.
that's what I'm just saying. Like,
and I'm telling them to stop being scared altogether, which I don't know.
But the only way you can stop being scared altogether is by addressing your fears in a way that's.
Or you could recognize that the fear is self-replicating, and that you just got to live your life.
Isn't it just insecurity though?
Yeah.
I mean, these people are cripplingly insecure about what women think about them to such an extent that they completely verboten the entire side of the species.
Well, it's also, like, I am not afraid of, wildlife, but you know what? If I'm going to go like camping in the woods, I'm still bringing me a firearm just in case I run across a bear, right?
And watch
I'm not
out for
afraid of
geese.
bears. I'm not afraid of bears.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make sure that I have safety precautions with me that I could, in case I come across a bear, I could actually do something about it to where I could get out of there and still be alive, right? Like, just putting yourself in the better position.
Okay. Like, because the one thing, Glenn, is pretty much everyone we know, it's like they end up getting divorced. So it's.
Can I make a quick point?
Yeah, you can go in a second, but
okay.
Sorry, when I get interrupted, it kind of throws my train of thought. But my whole point is that, like, the rate, it's just not good. Like most wives get fat. Most of them end up divorcing the husband over a long period of time. And someone said that like you can put the woman on alimony and but only 10% of alimony goes to women. So it's just not the norm.
Because men make more money.
I mean, that's true. David, go ahead.
Okay, so a lot of guys think that like, oh, because I'm leveling up, or because I'm making more money, or I'm doing this for her, or I'm placating to her desires and her needs, that she's gonna love me forever if I just keep doing this and that, and I just stay on the hamster wheel. Bro, that's not how it works. It's actually
you made a mistake.
Like, women,
you made a huge mistake.
Hold on. Let me finish. So women need something to fix. They always look for guys where it's like there's something
not
wrong.
true.
Like they need something to fix. If you're the
They must love
perfect
you.
guy on paper, you're gonna get raked over the coals, especially in something like
There I
marriage.
go. There I go. I think so.
Yes, that
After
answers
watching
that
this a second
question.
time, I think it pissed her off when I said because guys make more. I don't think she liked that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's an objectively true
This
statement.
is objectively true.
Yeah.
There's nothing she can do with that except for you're right. It completely took the wind out of her whatever. Anyways, she put me in back here. I'm in back. And
Are you in back or are you out? Are you booted?
I'm in back. She moved me to back. I was there for about 10 or 20 seconds. And then she's like, and kicked me all the fucking way out.
Well, and I wanted to, like, when I was trying to jump in to correct what he was saying, because what he was saying was you're leveling up for her. No. That's the problem. If you're doing anything for her and expecting, you have this unrealistic expectation, or you have this covert contract, like if I do this for her, she's going to do this for me. That's the problem. You're not doing it for the right reason. You're doing it for her when you should be doing it for you.
If
You're
I'm nice
leveling
to
up
her long enough,
you.
she'll have to have sex with me.
Exactly. Like you should be leveling up for your benefit, for you. You want to do this for you, not for her, but for you.
All you're doing is you're running on a freaking hamster wheel for her, and she sees that every day. And familiarity breeds contempt. So like that's what dudes are missing. They think, oh, if I just keep in the gym and I just keep doing this and that, and I keep appealing to her desire, then it's gonna work out great for me. That's not how it works, bro. That's not how it works.
Listen, stop. I heard you run your mouth. Your biggest mistake was you said you're doing it for her. I never said.
Glenn, you got to let me run the show, okay?
I didn't even hear Pearl talk, to be honest with you. Like I didn't even hear her say anything.
Yeah. I love you, but like you can't. I was gonna give Josiah a chance to talk, and then I was gonna let you go. Okay. All right, I'll let you back. Okay, go ahead.
That's a good point. Familiarity does breed contempt. Something to do, for this is keep on moving around. I think the reason why Isabella and I, for the first 3 years of our marriage so far, it's been pretty smooth, relatively smooth, despite this being kind of like the boxing era. And I think part of the reason why is because we've moved so much. We started out in Dallas, then we moved to Arizona, moved again to another place in Arizona, then lived in DC. Soon we're going to be moving to South Carolina. Like we're constantly switching up our environments and changing where we're surrounded and who we're with. And that creates there's no familiarity there to some extent, like with our surroundings and our environment, but there's always going to be familiarity. That's that root word family too, right? So yeah, I mean, it's a good point that you do have to take into consideration for sure.
Okay, Glenn, do you want to go?
Yeah, I was like saying, like, again, at the end of the day, what he said, you were doing all this placating and leveling up for her. That's not what you should be doing. That's not what you should be doing, the leveling up for yourself, because you should have enough, pride and confidence. It's not a cope.
That's a cope.
It's not a cope.
It is.
Whatever
it
you
is,
say,
because
it's not a cope.
at the end of the day, guys are controlled by sex. That's what it comes down to.
No,
The
guys
majority
that
of
are weak are controlled by sex.
You are controlled
Guys
by
that are
sex.
weak are controlled by sex. Are you saying
There's
that
a
you
lot of
have
weak
no
guys out
sexual
there.
discipline?
There's a lot of weak dudes out there, bro. Have you not taken a look around?
I do know that there's a lot of weak dudes out there, and the weak guys are the ones that say the same thing that you say. But guys that are confident, that know themselves, that are not weak, they could deny women. You know how many guys deny women because those women he doesn't want to be with them? There's a lot of guys that deny women.
But he's denying women
That's what I'm saying. That's
because he
literally
has the
point that
option
I'm
to.
making.
Why? Because he's leveled up and he has the option. He can pick and choose who he wants to have in his life.
But you just said that he was weak. What?
No. I said guys that have that mindset that he has are weak. The one that said they have to placate to women. Yes, that's weak.
But David's been on the show before. Like I know his background. Like he's doing very, very well for himself. Dude has a lot of options, but he's not out here committing to these women. He's been on the show before. You don't know him, but I do. And
it's the mindset that is weak. That's what I don't get. Like they don't see that. I'm talking about the mindset. Like if you are
They're
so
talking about this dude in the corner,
this guy,
that bottom corner.
yeah, that's who they're talking about, as if like he's this.
Do we know if he
guy.
has a channel or anything? Do we not have any?
I don't know.
Because this
His
dude was
name's
crazy,
David.
and he's got some serious Adderall eyes. This guy
right here,
I could-
guys. This one.
Why
Hold on.
can't
Bottom
I
right
see
corner.
the corner?
Yeah.
There it
This
is.
guy. There's
Bottom right corner, sitting in the kind of the dark, with all the Adderall energy. The Adderall haven't been laid in a while energy.
It's that the Kyle Monster Energy drink smashing fist
Right.
through drywall.
You know that dude's drywall is fucked.
Yeah.
Committing
like,
mindset. That's what messes dudes up is you commit so easily. Okay, like for example, like dude who was virgin before he met his wife, who had other men before him. So how long did you even know her until you got married? Probably less than 2 years, I would bargain.
Can we stop making this personal?
Yeah, I knew
But
her.
seriously, like it matters. Like you've probably known her for what, like 2 years, bro? You barely know this shit. You
No,
don't
no,
even
in
know who
total,
this
obviously
person
since
is.
being married, in total, I've known her for about 4.5 years.
Bro, that's nothing, dude. That's
No.
nothing. That's
Okay.
a blink of an eye, bro.
Yeah,
And
okay.
okay. So then
Very
he vetted her for 2
feministic.
years according to his standards. What would have been? What is a good amount of time to vet her then? What's the length? Is it time, or is it experience?
Well, if he's being a virgin this whole time, 2 years is a hell of a long time.
True.
And do you honestly expect her to remain true for 2 years while you're trying to decide whether she's serious or not?
Like, I
Still
think
a
2
virgin.
years is a pretty decent, length of time to be able to get to know whether or not you want to spend the rest of your life with this person or not.
I want to give White Hat guy props for handling that graciously. I thought that was
Yeah.
not
he
make
did
this
a good job.
personal. I think that he handled very personal attacks very graciously, and it doesn't look like it worked, but props to him for
But no, on that point, he would not have mattered if he'd have said 20 years. Homeboy would have snapped and said, blink of an eye, that's nothing.
Yeah. And so it's like, well, there's always going to be risk. You could do the best vetting possible, and you could still end up marrying somebody that ends up taking off and leaving you a couple years later. You know what I mean? Like, vetting is only one aspect. All vetting does is allows you to, with your best guessing, because you can't predict the future. All it
that's
does
what
is just
vetting
kinda,
is.
I mean, it literally
When
it's like,
since when has that been what vetting is?
because that's it's always been like you're guessing based off of what she's giving you to see or operate off of that this is going to be a good choice or not. People could pretend to be a certain way, and they have before, and that's why 2 years. People are not that consistent for 2 years straight. Like you will see cracks start to show if they're not genuine about who they are.
If you want to see cracks
if they're
in a vetting
pathological, if
Go
they're
ahead.
of a pathological personality type, it could take up to 3, 4, 5 years before you see those master crack because they are so good at living that fucking lie.
Sometimes it's not until you're trapped in the marriage, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, I suggest you go meet her family. Sit around and look at her sisters and her mom and her aunts and see how they respond and react to you and to public in general and how they react with each other. Don't say a freaking word. You just sit in the corner, eat your turkey, nod at everybody, and smile a lot.
God, I've skipped a lot of red flags in my life.
Oh, I have missed more red flags than the communist parade. Okay, like
I think we all have.
I mean, Sasquatch is a red flag.
Signing away your entire life to someone you've known for 4 years? That's crazy to me.
No, like I said, we
I
got
don't
married
care
through-
how well you like.
Yeah,
bro.
like I said, we got
Yeah,
married
he get
through
married
the
to the
church.
state.
I'm gonna let Joe. I'm gonna let him go. So go ahead.
Yeah, we got married through the church. There's no legal documentation. Isabella also has signed contracts and everything like that. People can say that they might not hold up in court or whatever, but she's told me that she's, submitted to me and that she's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. And listen, bro, you can say that doesn't mean shit. Hey, it's a mindset. You have to be walking in that mindset. You have to be disciplined. The other thing is too, right? I'm guessing you're not a Christian, but in the Bible, whenever you believe in the Bible, it says all things in Christ are a new creation. I really like that because Isabella has a past. And guess what? When she became a Christian, we got married. And now she's a new creation in Christ. Not everybody believes that. It's okay. They don't have to. But that's something that I abide by. And it makes it much easier because it's not like I really have to care about who she was before. It's like our life has started now, you know? And hey,
okay, this part I got to push back a little bit and say that is kind of copy, right? Because I know plenty of women that have given their life over to Christ, you know, after they were a hoe or, you know, had a past, and then they get married and then they just end up leaving that guy later on. So, I mean, it's
somebody they met in the church.
Yeah. Like, so it just because they gave their life over to Christ doesn't mean that they are really that new creation to
church
the degree.
freaks.
You know, like, but I did like what he did say is that he's like, no, we didn't get married through the church, or we got married through the church. We didn't get married through the state. So he mitigated potential risks that he knew that he would
new ones for himself. He created new ones for himself. I don't believe that he came into this with money, but what he does have now is they've got a daughter together, and a legal divorce is a starting point that for custody. If you don't have that, I assume that he's on the birth certificate, right? So that's something. But you know, it's just way harder. Yeah, no, I actually think it's retarded as fuck for people to do what they did and feel like they're being virtuous because they're just doing it with God and not with the state. Like, well, you still need the state shit.
Well, sometimes, not all the time.
What if she's in the hospital? What if she gets in a car wreck? Is in the hospital?
Power of attorney. A power of attorney.
Right. So you're just making everything more complicated and difficult for no reason at all. It's stupid as fuck. There's no way around it.
If your biggest issue is don't want to lose assets, then yeah, this is actually not a dumb idea because you're like, I will.
It's again. I still think it's I don't know. I feel like people I hear a lot of people talk about this and they do it with like a sense of pride and I'm a good Christian, and no, you're a dumb steward of your responsibilities.
I mean,
is my response to it.
If marriage, what does marriage, when it comes to the kid, through the state actually protect for you?
Huh?
How does marriage through the state actually protect you when it comes to your kids?
Because once you go to if you split up and you go to court and you file for divorce and you have children, that's a streamlined process. If you don't have a divorce, but you just want custody rights enforced, that is a lot more wishy-washy, unstable starting process legally. That's one way. Another way, well, especially if the dad isn't on the birth certificate. If he's not on the birth certificate, I don't know how he's going to do anything. It's going to be a hell of a slog. You're foregoing. I mean, maybe not necessarily. You can still file it jointly. With everything from schools to doctors to like just with all sorts of things, everything is a bigger pain in the ass. Everything has an extra step of verification. Everything has an extra document. Everything is a slower process. Sometimes maybe they're in the ER and you don't have time to go find her mom or find that paperwork. I mean, it's just the entire thing is just pure stupidity and virtue. And I feel like it's a stupid virtue signal. It's like, look at me. I'm making my life worse so that people can see that I'm a good Christian.
Well,
I think it's just dumb.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand, like, how does
benefit.
Again, how does the marriage through the state protect the father when it comes to custody or with his kids?
I don't know how you didn't get my explanation.
Because I know guys that get married and then their wife they get divorced and then they don't get to see their kids. They they have a hard time with
now you're doing to me what they were doing to you.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, they have hard time with getting access to visitation because regardless of what the judge renders, you know, if the wife doesn't agree or doesn't want to play by the rules, then you would have to file back and go to court. I mean, just saying.
I don't believe that you don't understand me. I think you're doing to me what they were doing to you. And
no, I understand to a degree, but what about there's the guy that didn't want his kid to get on the hormones and stuff, and the mom moved them. And I'm just saying there was no protection.
I never said it was perfect. Just because you're married is not perfection in family court. Of course, that's not at all what I said. That's why I'm accusing you of strawmanning me. But what I said is you've got a better starting point to launch off of. Things are more likely to go in your favor. It is easier to get these things done.
I think it's to a degree it can be easier for you for certain things, but I think you're still at the same risk of what access and influence you have, or control that you have with your child once you get a divorce.
There's never any doubt about the mom, right? The mom is the mom.
Yes.
Legally. The kid is with the mom. If at some point you want to say, I'm the dad, I want you to enforce my right to take the kid from the mom. It really helps, really simplifies things. If you're established as the husband, then
if you're established as the father, right, from on the birth certificate, that's really what matters, right?
Well, that definitely matters, but I would say that matters
more than being the husband of the wife.
If you're the husband and you've got custody of the kids, you don't even have to be the dad. It still gives you some rights. I feel like I've explained it sufficiently. I think that you get it. And for whatever reason, I think that you're trying to act like this is not a stupid fucking idea. It obviously is. At the very best, it's just a headache.
Well, like
more headache.
I'm trying to say, I'm pointing out, the outcome could literally still be the same.
Yes, of course it could.
Okay.
The outcomes could still be the same. Nothing is guaranteed. It doesn't guarantee it. It just makes it harder. It makes everything more difficult for no reason.
And I'm saying that for the guys that are concerned about, again, their assets and what they could risk losing, maybe for them, this is a better idea because they're willing to jump through through those hoops and are going around that way because they don't want to lose this.
That is possible, but I don't believe that's applicable to this audience or this panel or this couple.
Okay.
I mean, he was raised by a single mom in a broken home. I doubt that he is a millionaire and came into this marriage.
No, I'm trying to find him right now. I'm trying to pull it up.
And I'm making a lot of assumptions, right? But I just am assuming that these people are not people with.
Oh crap! Okay, the guy Dave just hit me up. Do we want to bring Dave up?
Who's Dave? Oh, the guy that was Adderallized.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna say this is all gonna
bring him up for sure.
All right. I'm gonna send him the link. Hold on. Actually, let me just play this while I do that.
We'll see.
I hope it doesn't, bro. I honestly hope you have a great marriage, but like the odds aren't in your favor and the odds aren't in my favor. The odds aren't in any man's favor. So like, why would you encourage men to like do these types of things? Like what you should be doing instead is encouraging them to like spend time with these women and actually vet them. But we don't ever talk about vetting women ever.
That's
and
crazy.
And also remember, like I said before, men, we are creatures of action. Okay. If a guy is going to shoot, Pro says it all the time. You can't stop a simp from simping. I'm not calling you a simp. What I'm saying is if a guy wants to get married, he's going to do it, and you can't stop him. Okay.
Yep.
If Josiah is aware of the risks involved and he's calculated it, well then I'm fine with it. I just don't like when guys make this decision and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe blah, blah, blah." Guys, the information is out there. Men are going to act no matter what. If Josiah has calculated the risk, he has his family, and he can get ready for what comes, well then more power to him.
And that's the solution. The real solution, one, is not to live in fear of women, but put yourself in the position to where that if you choose to take the risk and you take an L, that you are fine. It's not that big of a loss because you put yourself in a position to where that you are not dependent upon, whether or not she stays or not. That's the whole point of leveling up, to where you can take these risks and it not be such a detrimental, hit that you're going to suffer from.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't matter, then why make the commitment anyways? Like why do it's
I say if you're not a Christian or you don't have a religious faith, then don't get married. But if you're going to get married, make sure that it's because you do this for your religious faith. And then
we're trying to please God now. We're trying to please God instead of pleasing women.
For many people in religion, like marriage is a sacrament for them, so that's why they would.
Glenn, we've been going for about 2 hours and 45 minutes, so we're gonna wrap the show up.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, it was cool talking to y'all.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. But I had to drop half the panel. There was just too many voices.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of think that they wanted me to stop because I was actually saying some smart stuff.
Do you stop it?
Bad, Glenn. Bad.
That's just my opinion.
I mean,
Don't give them.
I will
hope,
say
Glenn.
that fear is a better sales position, right? Than
Yeah, I mean,
it's very possible. It's very possible. It's very possible.
fear is great. Fear is a great motivator. I mean, it's the greatest marketing tool there is. Come buy now before time is running out. Like, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. You know, like there's always, we see propaganda salesmen use this all the time.
Yeah,
So
like I said, say a bunch. Fear is the only emotion that shuts down right and left brain thinking. So you're literally, it's the only emotion that makes you less creative and less rational at the same time.
yeah, like, I don't know, but I want to get to the part where like he leaves because I guess he like turns on the super simp. You know.
But I appreciate the back and forth. If you guys want to plug your channels, go ahead.
Not Glenn Lawrence. Find me at Glenn Lawrence Presents. David, I would love to actually have a conversation, have this back and forth with you, continue later on sometime, because I find it interesting.
Bro, I've got the newest ideas on all this relationship stuff because I come from a
He's
different
the
era,
one.
but I'm also Gen Z. Like I'm 28, so like, but I also grew up in an era where there wasn't technology, there wasn't like I've seen both sides of it, and bro, the amount of just like cognitive dissonance that I see with men today is just mind blowing. Like it literally stresses me out, bro.
Yeah,
I approve of his
Thank
arrogance.
you, bro, for having me on. Just what?
I approve of his arrogance. I don't know. Like, even
Yeah,
though I
bro.
think it's misplaced, like, I don't know. I just approve of that energy.
He cracked code. He's the one. I bet he's got the verses from the Bible that never got written down. He's got the other 5 commandments that they dropped at the
I
top.
wonder if he's a sob sit too, and he's figured out how to beat the legal system.
Well, I messaged him, and we'll see what he says.
Oh, here he comes up.
Josiah, pleasure meeting you. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks for coming on. Josiah, do you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah, thanks for having me on, Pearl. Thanks for having on Isabella, of course.
Isabella's great, man.
I'm not gonna plug, but Pearl, I want the rating. You have to rate me and Isabella's marriage. Where do you is it gonna work out? Is it not? Give it your rate.
Ooh.
You gotta be careful.
No, you gotta be
The fact
honest.
that you're even asking that question is concerning.
I would say
With
I
the
like,
respectful-
Isabella, but if I had to go on the patterns, usually virgin guy, non-virgin woman, it predicts.
Welcome, David.
Yo, what's going on, y'all?
I'm doing good, doing good. We're just kind of reviewing the end here. Let me just get through this video, and then we'll converse about everything that we, what we were doing not too long ago.
Divorce.
Okay.
To go on the patterns. I do like Isabella, so I hope you guys.
Yeah, Isabella's great.
I think you guys are a good-looking couple. You're cute together, but yeah, I predict divorce for like 90% of people, so I'd probably predict that for you guys too.
Awesome. All right. See you guys.
You said awesome.
That's what they want, Pearl. They want to be wrecked. Like that's what I'm starting to realize. Is like these guys want to be wrecked. They want.
I think some of them, it's just like they see the risk and they just want to try it.
Yeah.
They want to be married. They want to. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't even think you're necessarily like dumb for giving it a go. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it, but some guys, it's like their religion. It's important to them.
Yeah.
I don't personally like see the difference. I think it's just a title. Like your actions speak louder, but yeah.
Yeah. And David, you gotta as you get older, because how old are you? You're 28, right? Like you're gonna see a lot of guys, even your friends. I'm never getting married. Like right around 30, 35, between the family pressure, the religious pressure. I want to have a family. You're gonna see about 50% of your friends get married, dude. Like
my parents want me to get married.
You can't.
My parents are like pushing it on me, and I'm like, no, absolutely not.
I recommend men don't get married, like most of my friends have been. So just make sure that you're there for them when it all falls apart. And in divorce, men make more money and gain more worth. Women don't, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's
I don't even mean to come down on you too hard. It's just like, bro, like that's the only way I see like getting through to people is being like, bro, do you really think you won by getting with a girl who's had other men before you and you haven't even like? But I digress.
We'll wrap it up. So.
Okay, Black Ice. My wife is a female version of Andrew Wilson, and I'm an atheist. We have been married for 16 years with 3 daughters. The wife is from Russia. I'm from New York. She's also 8 years younger, 43 and 35. Peter Paul. All what paths with women would advise your sons. I should have said it's also going to depend how well he does in his career if the divorce comes. So, I would say. Okay, well, thanks for coming on again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, come on anytime, David. You're awesome.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to moderate these a little better. My voice is just not deeper than 10 men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see why it'd be hard.
Okay, thanks for coming on.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, David here was the gentleman in the video with me and Flo, giving us some pushback. I can moderate a little bit better, so I'm not saying we're gonna have to go into, it's not no war here, but
Yeah.
I understand your overall worldview, right? And I can understand how guys get there, right? The way I look at it is that if you want a wife, if you want a family, you want kids, that comes with anything that you find valuable in life does come with risk. Now, the best thing that you could do is put yourself in a position and mitigate the risk as best of your capability, right? So if you're worried about losing half your shit and you're worried about, having, lose your everything, then you could put your assets in a trust and protect yourself that way. You could even get an LLC, create an LLC, and then funnel all your income that you make from work, maybe your 9 to 5, into the LLC, and then pay yourself as an employee. And you could pay yourself a smaller amount of wage than what you were actually making before. I mean, there's ways that you could maneuver to where that the risk that you're going to be facing is less than it would be by not, putting these metrics in place, right? So I see, like, for the guys that are wanting to do this and want to have family or, get married, there are ways that they could do it to mitigate the risk. You're just saying, don't get married at all. It's not worth it. Help me out. Help me understand here.
Yeah, okay. So the message that I'm trying to say is not necessarily like throw the baby out with the bathwater. What I'm saying is, like, I personally, from what I've seen in my life, I don't think most men, I think an overwhelming majority of most men are completely oblivious. Like, they have no idea that a woman can even do these things or has the capacity to, because men have this idea in their head, like, okay, if I treat her well, she's going to treat me well. But that's not how it works
I
at
agree with
all.
you. I've been divorced. I've been through the courts. I know what I've lost.
Right.
I've taken my L's, right? But
Mhm.
I also realized
Andrew
that
D's.
shut up. No D's. You're thinking of 10th man. But here's the thing is, I also, when I look back at things, I look back at it and go, like, you know what? I could have put myself in a better position to begin with, by partially vetting better. So make sure I didn't just, marry the wrong person, or or maybe if I valued certain things greater than what I was valuing at the time, then that could have put me in a better position. I could have financially protected myself better. Like, there's so many things I could have done to improve and what I end up going through during the divorce. Also, there's a lot of things I could have done throughout the marriage that could have probably helped me avoid the divorce altogether. If I didn't do the happy wife, happy life thing, if I didn't placate to what she wanted, bow down to the queen, if I didn't have that mentality, then that could have probably also helped me not end up in divorce. So there's a lot of things I could look back at and be like, if I didn't drop the ball in these little areas over time, then I probably wouldn't have experienced what I ended up experiencing, or at least the odds would have been better in my favor than it were when I did. So that's how I look at it, because you're not going to remove risk in life. You're not going to have zero risk, but you could at least put yourself in a better position to withstand the loss if you have to sustain any loss.
Yeah, I agree. But like, back to my point, it's just like most guys just aren't prepared. Like, they're too sheltered. You know what I mean? Like, my background is like, I come from a family where, like, my dad, like, my great grandfather, my grandfather both fought in wars, like hardened men. You know what I mean? Like, men that did not take shit from anybody. They were racist. They were crude. They were, and like, you can kind of see it in my, like, the way I approach things. Like, and I'm starting to learn to, like, lead with more humor and try not to be so aggressive. But like, the way I was raised is like, like most people, like my parents taught me, like nobody, like these people, you are not like them. You know what I mean? Like you're different, you're special, and like a lot of that
isn't that
bleeds.
a setup for failure? Because like, why would make you
Yeah,
special?
100%, 100. No, I agree, 100%. Like I agree. But at the same time, when it came to women, I was always very I was way more successful than my friends because I had this mindset. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my friends, when I was in high school, a lot of my friends couldn't get laid. I had to show them how to talk to girls. I had to show them how to be like personable, like how like you can't talk to a girl the same way you talk to your guys. You can't do it. Like but everyone has grown up in this mindset of like egalitarianism and
Their
like,
blank
oh,
slate equals, yeah.
yeah. And that's just like, since everybody is, or most men today are operating under that operating system, like that's why they get wrecked so bad. And like the only way you can really wake people up out of this, in my opinion, is to like give them the most brutal, honest truth and like stuff that they're not gonna like. Like most men don't like to hear the stuff that I say. I've lost a lot of male friends.
Your
because
wife
of
sucked
this.
dick.
Yeah, dude, I've lost countless male and female, like female companions that I've lost out on, and I've tons of male friends just because I don't subscribe to, you know, the narrative. I just don't, and like I can't because it's not in my
Which narrative?
The narrative of like everyone's egalitarian, women are equal. You got to be like, you got to treat her with respect and do all this stuff. It's like, dude, honestly, I hate women. I hate being around them.
We could.
I don't
Why?
like
Why?
because they're just not, they're like, they're all too masculine nowadays. They're not, they're very disagreeable. They act like men. It's like, if I want to be with my boys, I'll go hang out with my bros. I don't like, whenever I hang out with a girl, I want someone who's sweet and like
You
innocent.
can
And
have
like I
sex with
found
your
that.
bros.
Okay, but like my point is like I've found girls. Don't get me wrong. I don't think all women are like this, but I've found girls that are chill. And like the sad part is like most of them have had like pretty high body counts. That's why like I chimed in on the conversation earlier. Like body count doesn't even matter, bro. It's how they treat you. And Glenn, you
That's what
talked
I
about
said.
this.
That's
Yeah,
what
it's
I
how they
said.
treat you.
It's always about how they treat you.
Yeah,
I'm
body
not,
count.
there's no dickometer over her
Yeah.
vagina. You're not going to see how many thrusts per minute, she's had in her lifetime. So since you're not going to know how many dicks been in there, that's something that there's no point in wasting your time focusing on. But how does she treat you?
It's just your turn.
You can get you can kind of tell, right? Like
You can just tell, yeah. If you're at that high enough level, you can just tell. Like me, I can just tell. Like, dude, man, I got stories for days.
you
bro.
can
I know
valley.
hoes I know women that are hoes that you could not tell. Like they will be like the most prudish, church girl that you think that they don't even dress like hoes.
Anybody who's been to church knows about them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the freakiest,
Oh
'cause
yeah,
they
like it
got
in
that
the butt the
sexual
most.
repression.
Yeah, they're the ones that like anal the most.
But
so
I'm not like boomer, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that it can't work. I'm just saying like I don't think most guys are prepared, so it's foolish to just go off and just be like, "Oh yeah, marriage is for everybody." Like no.
No, so I agree with you. The problem is that men are not prepared. That I agree with you there. Men are not prepared. We're not preparing our young men with the reality that they can face and what they are, potentially putting themselves at risk to experiencing. I agree with that. We still have this Disney-esque theme, right? Like, you could.
I disagree. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, let me
go ahead and
on
get
this
your
side.
piece off.
Yeah, so like, because I think that if we don't tell them like, hey, this is a risk that you're taking here, and if you choose to get married, then understand what you're facing. And if you want to, then go ahead, great. But there's also, if you're going to take this risk, there's ways to mitigate that risk as well by doing these other things and preparing yourself before marriage, so that when you do get married, legally your assets are secured. If you have assets and whatever, then you're not at risk of losing those things. So I think there's ways to address it and present it that we're not doing.
And
Flo, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I disagree that men, like with both of you actually, that men or anybody's not prepared for the harsh realities of what life's like. We all grew up with parents who are divorced, relatives who are divorced, right? We're all very, very familiar with divorce culture. We're all raised in the same culture that teaches dudes that the best that the way to treat women is to play them, and women that they need to be treated like a queen and not contribute anything, right? Our culture teaches men and women to treat each other like shit. You kind of have to like go, at least for me, I kind of had to go through trial and error to figure out kind of how to deal with that. Because I think our society, our culture shows us the opposite. It shows quite an ugly side of.
Well, I think the only way I'll push back is that we don't prepare men for like your girl, because all guys think their girl, she's different. She's not like all those other ones that divorce men. No, she is different. Like she's a good girl, right? And I just say, well, there's no good girls and no bad girls. There's just girls. And how
that's just right? That's just a delusion. You can't. If their belief is demonstrably different than everything around them, you can't demonstrate something. You're just another external source of information. You can't break them out of that. That's what they want to believe.
But that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of guys think like, oh, this will never happen to me because she's a good girl. Like she's not like other women that do this. And I say, well, no, she's just a woman. There's no difference between women. Women are just women. And depending on how they value you is going to determine whether or not they're going to be good to you or not.
All right. All right. I've been listening to this for a minute.
You have.
Hold on, Sasquatch. Is this your nephew? Because, he said like racist, straight mouth, just gutter mouth people. I thought like you might be related. It might be your uncle right here.
I have a huge family. We probably are, no cap. But what I'm looking at is this. You're saying women are women and they're all basically the same. And I'm saying that some are crackheads, some are junkies, some are freaks, some are are actually good girls. They do actually exist. That you won't find them because you won't look with places where good girls go. You do not go pick up your wife in a club. You might find her at like an RC meet hanging out with her friend's boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all going together for something to do. If you're looking for wife material, you're not going to find it at a club. You're not going to find it out with a whole bunch of hoes and hoochie mamas because they all hang out with hoes and hoochie mamas. You've got to get outside of the mainstream of dating. You've got to go beyond. You have to do the work.
What I'm getting at is like, okay, the hoes and the hoochie mamas. You get to meet a hoe, but that hoe
had to stop me.
You not want to be a hoe for anymore. She may be a good woman to you because you're the guy that she wants to be with. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's no bad or good. It's just how they value you is going to determine how they're going to treat you. If she doesn't have respect for you,
likely to be valued by some hoochie mama you found at a strip club, or some chick that you found in a tent revival in Southeast Georgia in a town no one's ever heard of.
Probably the stripper, because I've been to those tent revivals and I've seen what they're like.
All right, you might have me on that one. I'm not going to trade apples and freaking black holes here. That's not where we're going.
If you're looking for wives at the place where you look for one night stands,
probably a bad place. I get that.
But anyways, Sasquatch, I could smell that whatever you were sauteing.
So what I'm getting at is, especially with the red pill movement, first, they choose to be a victim of something. It's typically woman-based, female-based, whatever. For whatever reason, they saw someone get hurt. They experienced some hurt occurred somewhere, trauma, their mom was bad, whatever it is. They decide they're a victim. They take on the red pill mantle. They start trying to guru other men. And the problem is these people have insecurities that they haven't faced themselves yet. So how can they help heal other men when they're dealing literally in the throes of the insecurities that put them in that place in the first place?
What do you think about that, David? What he said?
I mean, there's some truth to the, the idea that, like scorned men eventually try to become gurus and stuff like that. But I think a lot of it for me is about intention. Like, okay, if my intention with a female is to have a long-term relationship with her, or like marriage or have kids or something like that, that's totally different than if I'm just trying to hook up with a girl. So it's like, that being said, my expectation or my what's the word? My intention is all over the place, And as a young man, as someone in my 20s, it's like the idea of signing away my life as, at such a young age.
When would you think it's like a good time to get married? Like if you were going to say like, if David was going to get married, and even though David said he's not
Signing away your
right,
life
he
never
is gonna
sounds
get
good, though.
married.
The
When
way
is
that he phrased
when
it
is the
always
age?
sounds bad.
I'm just saying,
Right,
when
and
is that ready? When is the age to take that risk that you're saying?
I see what you're saying though. Like you're saying that like okay, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you look at it negatively, then it's going to have a negative outcome. But what I'm trying to say is that it's not about looking at it negatively. It's about treating every gun as if it's loaded. Like my parents, like
That's
we
a
were
negative
into.
look, though.
That's not a negative look.
Yeah.
That's not negative. That's
You're
neutral. Actually,
you're looking
it's
at
neutral.
it like a weapon instead of like a life raft or something. I don't know, something that's
Yeah, but see, that's where things get tricky. Is if you look
More
at a
like
woman as a
protection
life
from the
raft. Oh,
sun.
a woman is not supposed to be your like. You're supposed to be,
I was just
like
using it as an
able to.
alternative example, right? Like you chose a dangerous item.
Women are dangerous, man. They're dangerous. Have you seen
people are
the
dangerous.
havoc that they? Yeah,
Well,
people
people
are.
in
Yeah,
general are
right.
dangerous.
But
But
whenever
what's
it comes
more
to
dangerous
relationships,
is isolation.
I mean, right, but I'm not advocating for that necessarily. I'm not saying you should isolate yourself and just not talk to anybody or have
No,
any
I know
sort
you're
of
not. I know
like.
you're not. I'm just saying that all options lead to risk.
Right, 100%.
And with women is actually it seems to be the lowest. I haven't thought it all the way through, but it seems to be the lowest risk option, right? We can look at there's demonstrated study or proven benefits of marriage to men. Actually, men benefit more from marriage than women through
Sure. I
health.
mean, if you vet a woman for long enough and you know she's the one, then I mean, like, there's nothing stopping you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I think it's disingenuous to like try to push it on young guys. Like, for example, like I'm a follower of Nick Fuentes, and like everyone says that, or like they try
I
to push
could have
marriage
guessed.
on him, and he's like, the way he comes at it is the same way I'm looking at it. It's like, dude, we're so young, and like the
Well,
culture
that's where I
and
wanted to know what age. What's the age that you think
I would
that?
follow my dad's example. My dad got married. I think my dad had me when he was in his 40s.
Okay.
Do you have siblings?
I have an older sister, yeah.
Big age gap?
Nah, just 3 years. Nothing big.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
So I mean, I could see that. Like you're basically saying, like, get yourself in a position to where you're mature enough, you got your shit together. Then maybe if you want to start a family, start a family. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's kind of wise, not adding a whole bunch of shit to your plate that you're gonna have to be responsible for if you're already having a hard time being responsible for what you already have on there, which is just you. So I could get that, but the idea of thinking that all women are like this, or all marriages is gonna be bad. I mean, there's a risk to anything. There's a risk to anything of value or anything important. There's risk. It takes risk. And most people are not going to be successful when they try out for anything. How many people try to go play the NFL? Most of them don't make it, right? Most people don't get into Hollywood and become successful, movie stars. A lot of people try and they fail. So if you value this thing called marriage, there's a lot of people that value marriage, and a lot of them fail. The very few are successful. I mean, even when the Bible talks about, a virtuous woman in Proverbs 31, they say that woman is rare as rubies. I don't got any rubies. You got rubies? Don't think so. So we know that they're extremely rare to find this. Well, of course you do, Sasquatch, but like it's usually really rare to find this woman that's going to be this perfect woman that's ready for marriage and be the perfect wife.
You're not going to find that. No. You're not going to find that.
Yeah, you're not. There's always going to be error, but
I don't think
we
it's
already
error.
know that, like,
Yeah.
there's always going to be the majority of people are going to fail at things. That's just the reality of it. But that doesn't mean don't take the risk.
I don't view failure. I don't view the something coming to an end. I don't view it as a failure necessarily. Technically it is, but like my divorce, would I undo that? Would I not? Absolutely not. I wouldn't undo any of that shit.
Well, she was crazy.
She was crazy. And I had no intention of getting her pregnant, and it freaked me the fuck out, but it was a fantastic mistake, right? The issue, I think, is not so much mitigating the fears. Fears can be addressed, right? If there's a reason to. What I'm hearing is that I'm not hearing him seeing there's any benefit to it. If there's no benefit to you from getting married, then it doesn't. Why are you addressing the fears for? So I wouldn't even. And that's kind of what I was trying to say earlier that I did poor job of saying is these guys view this, at least the talking points are treating marriage and relationships and women like as entirely negatives, right? There is no positive component that they're moving towards. And yeah, I mean, if
Well,
you
I was gonna say that's a good, I think that brings up a good question. Like, David, what value do you think marriage, it has for men? Is there any value for men when it comes to marriage?
Progeny, like children. I think that's the only thing it's for.
Or
To
like
be like in
legacy?
my, yeah, that's to me like, and this might seem like reductionist or a black pill or whatever. I literally think it's just for children. Like that's how I would look at it. Like whenever I eventually do
do you
settle down,
enjoy having women around? Like, do you enjoy?
He said he hated women
no,
earlier. So
no, hell no,
Are you gay?
absolutely not.
And
No,
Okay.
so
I just don't. I don't enjoy the company of women. I just
I'm
don't
not
like.
taking a
It's
shot at you, bro.
yeah,
I
no.
was honestly curious. We questioned it earlier. You're here. I asked the question. I wasn't trying to do any kind of anything.
Don't get me wrong. I've spent my fair share of time with women, but like that's kind of like like I learned a lot of things in those times, and like I don't know. It's just that
If you
what I've
don't like
learned is
them,
that
then
they
you
don't.
shouldn't get. Yeah, I mean, I would if you don't like being around them, I would not encourage you to be around somebody that you don't like being around.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't get married.
Well, that's the thing is I plan on having kids, but marriage, I'm not so sure. Like having kids, there's nothing.
What if you have a daughter?
Give me a second here. Yeah, we'll get to that. I want that's very, very yes.
That's a good question. Yeah.
So life is what happens when you're making plans. How does that fit into this?
What do you mean?
You don't get to control what happens to you. The universe is going to happen to you. If you knock
Right.
up one of these chicks that you don't like being around, that's okay. I see how that works. But life happens while you're making plans for other things. If you end up fathering a child inadvertently, is that a thing that could possibly happen?
I don't really like to talk about hypotheticals like that because it's just
Oh, I
like
see.
I
As
just
long as
don't
you've
think
got your thumb on
that
it, you're
wouldn't
perfectly
happen.
fine with it. But
If I have like, let me just put it this way: like I have a pretty high body count compared to most men. For the longest time I didn't even know that I had a high body count.
hypothetically, you can't get any of them pregnant with your high body count.
Sure, I could have, but I never did, and
So if
that's
you
kind of
didn't,
the.
then what?
Well, what's the question?
If you get your next high body count, your next number on your high body count pregnant, just you do all the things, they're on all the stuff, you use all the things, and oh shit, it happens anyway. Now what?
I mean, I'm certainly not going to marry this person if that's the
Okay.
question.
Well, I agree. I don't think just because you get a woman pregnant, you should get married.
Yeah, you can have a child with a woman out of wedlock. People do it all the time. It's
I have a child with a woman out of wedlock. I've got a reason I'm asking this. I'm not just poking holes in your plan. I'm not just trying to be an asshole. I'm just asking. You this child is yours. You do the test. Everything signs up. It's yours. Now, more than likely, given from what I've been hearing, this is going to be a one night stand type of chick. It's not going to be somebody that you've spent time vetting.
At this point in my life, I don't even really intend on having any more like casual hookups and stuff. I've kind of quit that. Like it's been a few years since I've quit doing that because it's just it never ends up well.
You
I've
see how hard
literally
he's trying to
brother,
dodge this question, bro?
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not dodging the question. I literally
I was right,
I'm
though.
past that point in my life because I've just done it so much and it's like it doesn't like I've had negative things come out of trying to play that game. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
negative things. That shot in the
Yeah.
ass really hurts when that load
And
hits you.
pregnancy is only one of those, but thank God that never happened to me. I'm just saying like that stage of my life is over. So it's not like I wouldn't like I don't know. The question is just like it's a
What
little
stage of
vague.
your life
Look,
is over? Is like or being marriage minded is out of your stage of your life? Is that what you're saying? Like you're done with that, or like what? I'm confused.
He said he's over with casual hookups.
Oh, you're done
Yeah,
with casual hookups. You're done with
the
one night
casual
stand. Okay.
yeah. Like that stuff is kind of just, over with, like if
I've
anything,
definitely reached a middle.
like I would, like the hardest thing about dating is like actually getting your feet wet and stuff like that. But like once you've already done it,
Your feet broke. I've got all right. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go get you a cup of
Yeah.
I
coffee.
think Sasquatch is saying you want to get your dick wet, not your feet. But
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm taking shots. I don't mean to. It's just that you keep walking into the rape. I can't help it. All right. Like I said, let's flip this on its head. Instead of taking shots at you, I'm gonna take shots at me. I knocked up a chick out of wedlock. It could have been an absolutely horrible freaking event. Everything could have gone horribly wrong. It could have been terrible. What I didn't do is hide it from everybody involved, argue with everybody, and try to like domineer the situation. Instead, I got my side chick and my wife in the same room. We had a conversation. Everyone got angry and screamed at each other and they walked away. But the information was there. Decisions were made. And right now, my daughter is asleep in the bedroom right over here. Right. There's no custody, nothing. There's no none of that. None of that. I was a father. I was present. I was present for other children involved in that family. And it's one of the better things that have happened to me in my life, even though, and I don't like to do this, the mother is a less than desirable specimen of the human race for reasons I don't even want to get into. The children are great though. And they all treat me like a father figure because I'm probably the most stable person they've ever met in their life, which is really weird when you get to know me. Right? So how are you denying yourself all of these great experiences that are terrifying, but at the same time, they build character, they build your self-worth in ways that you cannot plan to do.
They provide meaning, which is something
Right. No, I agree. No, I literally agree with you. Like, I'm not saying I'm against the idea of having children or marriage. What I'm against is like not giving people the right information, and like the right information just isn't out there.
Okay, I'll give you that.
You smoke cigarettes, you should if you don't.
What is the right information? Let's go with that. What is the right information?
The right information is, like, if I had to sum it up in one sentence, treat every gun like it's loaded. Treat every gun like it's loaded, like that it can hurt you. You know, like women can hurt you. Like women, like
Okay,
it is possible for women to hurt you. And like if you haven't experienced
Not if
it,
you
then,
hurt them
like,
first.
I totally get that. Women can be dangerous, but then you're almost like predicting like or doing the whole man or the bear thing in the woods. So it's like, should we ask guys like, hey guys, if you're in the woods and you came across, what would you be more scared of, the woman or the bear? Right? Like,
I'd have to get a good look at that bear first.
I know. But you see what I'm saying? Like you're trying to almost like weaponizing this fear in this rhetoric, saying like, instead of saying like, hey, make sure that you actually, find somebody that's a good person or a decent person. You can try to vet them as best as you can, but don't assume that all people are bad.
Well, and
like,
people change.
All women. Yeah.
Who you are now may not be who you are. It won't be who you are in 10 years, right?
Absolutely not.
So
the things that you're looking for in somebody 10 years ago are gonna be definitely
she'll
different
change, right? I got with my ex when I was in college. The interactions you need to have with somebody who's your college girlfriend is way different than what you need in the real world when you're adulting, and that changeover didn't go well, didn't work, right? But just because you can't predict the future doesn't mean that you should not live in the present.
And if you're worried
fuck
about
up some mistakes are not mistakes. Mistakes are
lessons.
Perfect. I mean, perfection sucks. Without the mistakes, then everything would be bland and flavorless.
Failure is the first step to success.
We sound like the oldest bunch of fucking
you guys sound like a bunch of old farts.
Can I read super chats for a second so we can like
go ahead?
Yes, please.
All right.
Wait a minute. Why is my chat not sending me any super chat? It's some fucked up shit.
All right,
chat.
where am I at? Somewhere in time sends in $2. Says you clutched. I clutched pearls. I guess I did clutch pearls. Chuck sends in $20 and says, "Fucking young pups." And Little Wing sent in £5. Thank you all for that. I'm gonna drop some bombs for you and the rest of you freeloaders. Bring it.
So, here's my thing. There should be more of a middle ground here, right? Instead of being like, oh, just go out, do it, don't worry about anything. There's no risk. No, okay. You're not saying that, David. You're saying, watch out for these bitches. All these bitches they're dangerous. They're like guns. They'll kill you. Landmines, right?
Some are rigged,
they're not necessarily like that either. right? They're not. We can't present this false dichotomy where there's just two extremes. They're not. We don't live in that world. We live in the gray world where that if you need to be aware of the dangers that are out there in the world and be aware of the risk that you will end up taking if you get married, or if you even get in a car to drive down the street, you're still taking a risk, right? But we can't live in fear because of this risk. All we could do is try to mitigate experiencing this risk the best that we possibly can. And you mentioned vetting. And I'm like, well, yes, vetting can help, but vetting doesn't necessarily work either. It helps them. It helps somewhat, but it still doesn't even put you in the better position overall. Because you could vet the woman as best as you can, think that she's like the best church girl in the world. Her family's like that too, but then she could still end up fucking, the drug dealer and then leaving you for him. So I mean, it's still possible. and Flo would be the drug dealer. He former retired, retired drug dealer. But
yeah,
I got forced out of the industry.
So that's what I call a hostile takeover.
What I'm getting at is like anything in life that's valuable comes at a risk.
Right.
And the only thing you can do is do the best you can to protect experiencing any type of losses before you get into that risk, right? And one of them is mindset. Because the thing that you said during the thing, Pearl show was, oh, you're doing all this leveling up for her. That's not what I said. I said, you leveling up for you. You're doing this because you want to be the best version of yourself. Because, the more successful you are, more opportunity you have, bigger network that you have of meeting people. Overall, you're doing it for yourself. The woman is going to be coming into your life as the byproduct of that success. Because if you weren't that successful, you may have never met her at that place, or you may never have been in that town, whatever the event is. You may not have crossed her paths if you were not chasing that success or pursuing that level of success, right? So if you're doing it for you and it's not for her, it doesn't matter whether she's there or not. You're still going to be doing this because this was something you were doing already.
Right, I agree. And like one point I want to make here is that okay, so I ride motorcycles, right? And people would consider that pretty risky, right? Like that's a pretty risky thing.
Do you wear a helmet?
Yeah, I wear. Yeah,
so do I.
That's the idea that I'm getting at. Is like I still wear my helmet. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like, yes, motorcycles are dangerous, and people say I shouldn't ride them. People say I shouldn't. Like my own family is like, don't be out riding at night, doing all this stuff. And it's like I heed those warnings, but at the same time, like I put my helmet on, and like I still am gonna enjoy my life and do what I want to do. Like if I want to have kids someday, I'm gonna have some kids. That's just how it is. Like I'll go find a girl. Like it doesn't. Like I'm not even really that picky. Like, I don't have too high of standards when it comes to women.
Facebook Marketplace, looking for a breeder.
We weren't saying go out and knock up the first chick you come across. We were saying, just don't excommunicate all women, because you never know, bro. Leave the option open. One day you might come across this short, chunky chick who's absolutely the bee's knees, the coolest chick.
No, I will have kids. I will have kids. Like that's 100% gonna happen. Like I will, spread my progeny. Like,
are you trying to do like the Andrew Tate thing though? Like you want to have like 50 women pregnant and have like all these kids, and because like there's a difference between having kids and creating a legacy as if it's a pride thing and actually being a father. Because
right.
Like I enjoyed being a father when my kids were little, right? Now they're adults, they're grown, so I'm done. My game is over. I already got. I ain't shooting no more kids. I ain't having that no more.
Figure out how to get along with the mom though first. Like you don't want all that dysfunction. You don't want your kids to have to deal with that dysfunction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do have advice.
It's like the goal is like you want to be a father. So knowing that you want to be a father and not just having kids is big difference. So being a father means you're gonna have to interact with that mother. You're gonna want somebody that you could, if you do get a divorce, that you could still be, amicable and co-parent, not just spreading your seed.
I got married to a hardcore blue dog Democrat. I'm a conservative. I wore blue shirt. I know, dude. I like blue. I never occurred to me that blue was a political color, and I like blue shirts. I wore blue shirts everywhere for like 12 years. We're married, and suddenly Trump comes into the picture, and everybody wants to know everyone's affiliation. And I realized suddenly, because I'd never asked, I realized suddenly that I'm surrounded. It's wild. And then they realize, wait, you're not one of us. And suddenly I don't get the invites. That's all sent to my wife. Nobody calls me. And I'll prefer it this way. I don't experience nearly as much hate as these people do. I don't care. I do not care that they don't call me. If they need something, they'll call me. They know I'm reliable. They just think I'm nuts because I don't bow to the doctrine they've decided.
But you are kind of nuts, though. You know,
And
Sasquatch,
they
you are
have
pretty
a point. I'm not denying it. Come on, be my Valentine, bro. Why you shooting?
I am
shots?
your Valentine, you know.
Come on.
You are a little crazy.
All right.
But like
Little
David, like how when you say you want to have you said you're gonna have kids, you know, in the future. How does that look like to you? Are you gonna like find some woman that you're like, hey, look, let me just nut. You have the baby, give me the baby, and I'll take like what is your ideal plan in the future for this? Or are you gonna wait for China's new like birthing bot thing that they have coming out?
Yeah, so okay, ideally, and like this is just me as a 28-year-old pontificating on this idea. Like I'm anywhere near ready for this, but what I will say is that I probably won't live with them like with my wife and kids 100% like full time. I will probably live separate and just go back and forth and take care of the kid as it needs to be taken care of and do fatherly duties and stuff like that. And ideally I would like to have more than one kid with one woman. I'm not trying to like do like the whole like 50 wives thing. That just sounds like too
Okay,
much work.
okay. Yeah, so now help me understand what is the reason for not wanting to live there?
Because of the familiarity concept, man. Like we're in an age now where women have so much access to the men that they see. Like if a woman wants to start seeing a guy, she can get just about as much access as she possibly could want. And like that in itself is the reason that I
Well,
believe
isn't
that
that
most
like just the
relationships
guy
don't
not
last.
setting? Isn't that the guy's part for not setting up boundaries though? Because like you could like go to work every day, and then after work you go to the gym, do your thing, right? And then you can have your other stuff that you do after work, and then go home, and then get up and do it all over again. She's still limited in how much time she sees you.
Right, and that's what my father did. My father did a lot of that. Like there was a lot of time aside from because like I did stuff with my dad. Like we did, or I played baseball and like obviously motorcycles, and like we shot guns together and went hunting and stuff like that. That's yeah, 100%. I'm going to be there for those types of things. But whenever it came to like like changing diapers and doing all that stuff, like my dad was he was busy working. But it was kind of difficult with my family because both of my parents worked. So there was a lot of like conflict that came up out of that because my mom was like, she felt as though because she made a slightly bit more money than my dad, she had this like air of I don't
Chip
want to
on her
say like
shoulder, like you should,
yeah,
yeah. And I've said this too, like a woman's submission should not be dependent upon who brings in the most money. Period. I mean, if you're gonna do it from a biblical worldview,
It's
right?
two punches the hardest.
It is the hardest though. But I mean, if the woman's submission is not contingent upon who brings in the most, her submission is due to the title that the person holds as I'm the husband. So it doesn't matter if you bring in $100,000 more than her or she brings in more than you. The title is what you're respecting, not not so much the person or what they're bringing. But it's a lot easier for a woman to do so, and it gives guys more control when he is the main source or the primary source of income. So then now she's going to have to play by his rules because that's the access to the money. So she's going that's more of a control thing rather than
it should be
I wouldn't want to
organic
get
in
into
your guys' interactions, right? It just should be baked into chemistry. It doesn't need the money. It doesn't need the Bible for sure.
No, I'm just saying if you're gonna go at it from that worldview of the woman is supposed to be submissive to her husband, that's primarily in more faith-based, arrangements, not so much in nowadays in the secular world. Secular world don't care that it's more equal 50-50, type of thing. It's a lot of the faith-based that hang on to that patriarchal structure. So if that's the case, then yeah, it's gonna be a lot easier if the guy is the higher earner. But that doesn't mean that that's what it should be. She should be submissive regardless if that's the position that the guy holds in her life is the husband. So, but I'm just kind of wondering, like, why you think living away from your wife, because you said wife and kid. You said wife and kid. So that means you would plan on getting married to her, to have this wife, this child. Why would living separate be beneficial instead of like enforcing boundaries and allocating your time the way that you want to allocate it, that works best for you or best for you and your family?
I think it mitigates a lot of like the shit testing that goes on, because whether we like to admit it or not, like it's a never ending thing. You know what I mean? Like anybody who's been with a woman knows this, that like, especially if it's a long-term relationship, like the shit tests never really end. They just take different forms. So like living away from them is kind of a way to like create the distance and create some sort of like, she needs to have that. Like that's not for me. You know what I
Your
mean? Like
mom was really a
a lot
bitch
of
to your dad, huh?
yeah, yeah, I'll admit that. Yep. But see, that's the thing is like a lot of guys think like, oh, I don't want to live with my I don't want to live with my wife and kid because I want to be selfish and like have my alone time. It's like, no, that's for her. That's for her to miss me. And like that's not for me. If it was up to me, I'd love to live with them full time and spend every waking moment, with my wife and kids. But first of all, people got to work, and second of all, that's just like
you think
the way the
like
culture is changed.
do you think that like a lot of that is contingent upon the guy not enforcing boundaries to begin with? Like,
That's
if
what I was going
a
to say
woman,
earlier is like when you say boundaries, that gets tricky because women don't like, we know women today, they don't like being controlled. And when you start talking about like, oh, boundary this and boundary that, it's like
then why
the
even
only
get why
power,
you wouldn't
I'll
want
tell you. So
you don't
the
you
only
wouldn't you
power,
wouldn't like invest in a woman that you don't think that's going to support or respect your boundaries, right?
right? That's correct. But the way that you enforce or the way that I believe men should enforce boundaries is silently. You don't talk about them. You don't say, "Oh, don't do this." What you do is
Absolutely, I
if
agree
she
with you.
exhibits the behavior, you remove yourself. That's why I would say
Absolutely.
it's better if I live away from my wife and kids, because what's going to happen is eventually at some point she is going to shit test me. And like if I can't remove myself, if I can't, if there's no space, if there's no escape, then it's just, it's just going to be henpecking, kind of like, because I grew up with that,
Why
man.
don't
Like
you
my
just pass
mom,
the shit test?
Well, like I was going to say
I mean,
that, like,
it's a lot easier said than done. A lot
well,
easier
like
said than
like
done.
some people say like don't pray for God to remove your problem. Pray that God gives you the strength to overcome all your problems. Like like because if you're saying that, oh, this problem's too much for me, then you're saying I'm too weak to endure this. So I'm not strong enough to handle this shit test that she gives me. That kind of
Well, it's
seems.
not that. It's just that, like, as a man, like, we want peace. Like, we don't want, like, men are willing to settle for peace over, things like looks and stuff like that. So if
That's
that's
true.
what,
But
like,
when you get older, because the younger guys, they don't care about
right.
peace. You
Yeah, and
younger guys don't give a fuck. When I was young, I didn't give a shit about peace. I
Yeah,
want a piece
well,
of
yeah,
that ass
exactly.
is
That's
what I
how I am
wanted.
now. That's how I am now. Like right now, my life is super chaotic. Like I'm all over the place. Like like I have 3 or 4 different jobs. Like I have so much shit going on. Like I put a lot on my plate for a reason, or like for that reason. But like as I get older, I'm gonna seek that, more peace
Well, you
oriented
only
life.
learn that
You
you
know what I
want
mean?
more peace. You only learn that you want more peace by fucking all the crazy girls. Like if you ain't
Yeah,
ever had a girl that threatened to kill you because she had a bad dream that
dude.
you were cheating on her, like then you haven't lived yet. All right,
Yeah.
like
No, I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Dude,
But you only
I've
let
learn
me
had
you
let
girls
me
want.
get
put
let me
me in
get in
jail,
here. Let me
man.
get in. Let me get in.
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Your perception is entirely flavored by your parents' poor relationship. Like,
I agree.
and I'm not trying to be dismissive of it. I'm
They're
just saying, like,
together though. They stay together. They've been
yeah, but
together for
that's
40 years.
I
40-year marriage.
absolutely
They're still
reject.
together. They're in their
I absolutely
70s.
reject that as a measure of success. I think that for many people, that's a measure of failure. My grandparents were married for 60 years. They hated each other the whole way through. It was terrible for everybody.
Right, right. That's how it
So,
is. Like
but that's
I
not how
agree.
it. But my parents have been together
There's no
for.
perfect marriage, bro.
My parents have been
It
together
doesn't
for 40
exist.
years, and they're very happy. The best way to
My
have peace
parents are
for
happy
most.
now. My parents are happy now that they're in their 70s and the kids are out of the house. But bro, when we were growing up, dude, it was hell. Every day it was hell. It was just screaming back and
Then,
forth all
then
day.
I feel like there's like you seem aware that you've got a skewed view of relationships. you can win shit tests, right? Shit tests are not, they want you to pass them, right? It's not a perpetual, continuous henpecking thing. The issue is your dad didn't win the shit test. He didn't pass them.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, he submitted, and like, you know, I think he in a small way he might know that because of some of the outcomes, which like I don't even really want to get into, but like I think that there's a lot of just like red tape around like having authority nowadays over your wife and stuff like that. So, and that's the only way you're gonna pass a shit test. Like, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like, you can't hit your wife. You can't. You
don't-
can barely even raise your voice at her these days. You know what I mean?
You shouldn't need to. None of those measures of it showing authority or enforcing it, right? You don't want to have to use those. If you have to use physical force, you've already lost. That shows that you don't have it naturally, right? She's not comfortable following you if you get to that point. And I guess the point I'm just trying to say is like, just understand that your perspective on relationships is it's trauma induced. Everyone's is to an extent, but the way that you've laid out that I've heard you lay out the world of relationships, of women, of all, like, that's not accurate. It's just not. And I understand why you got it, and I'm not throwing shit at you. I'm just saying, like, if you understand that it's not accurate, it's born out of your lens and experience, then you can look a little wider, and there are good things out there. You don't need to treat all women like loaded guns. Most of them are I mean, like, yeah, you should look at them the opposite way. They'll bring you peace, they'll bring you joy. They're not just, the necessary burden to get to having a kid for your own narcissistic lineage reasons. If you can't find something positive, if you genuinely don't enjoy being with women or around women, then you shouldn't be getting married then, right? I agree.
Right.
I agree
Yeah.
with that conclusion.
At this current moment, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. What happened? We gone?
Sorry, I was muted. How you doing? I guess we're going. We're going to do this thing. You said something earlier about having a wife or having a family and living separately.
Right.
You are inviting a vacancy into what you would consider a family. Right? Are you expecting her to be faithful and everything with you while you live in this other place?
That's tough. I mean, like, me personally, I don't think men should expect women to be faithful at all. Like, whether you're married to them or not.
Very good. You don't even have to elaborate. I totally get it. Women typically, and I'm not speaking hashtag not all, right? But women typically are not the most monogamous folks in a group. The term monkey branching was literally defined specifically for women, and lots of them do it. But that being said, how would you feel about someone else's kids? Let's say you have a kid, you're not living with them, and then she gets pregnant again and it's not yours. Now what?
Well, that would be definitely a unique and tricky situation. I mean, obviously, any sort of like,
It's not unique.
I mean, right. But what I'm saying is like, it would obviously end any sort of like romantic, relationship that I have with her, But as far as like, having the bond with the kid, like the kid creates a bond that is for life. So like if I've already chosen to have a kid with this woman and for some reason she does what you said, then I just have to eat that. You know what I mean? Like you just have to put up with that. Like what am I going to do? That's like saying, oh well, if it storms, what are you going to do if it storms? Well, I'll probably go get a raincoat on or something. Like I don't know why. I can't stop the rain.
Your euphemisms are digging deeper. You just eat that. I mean, I hear what you're saying,
bro.
but at the same time, be careful.
What else are you supposed
what you're saying sounds bad. Just transition to a different analogy.
Well, what's the alternative? Give me the alternative.
Yeah, no, I get it. All right, knocked up a chick with this chick's middle child, right? All of her children I pretty much adopted them. We all went on vacation together. I didn't take the ratchet ass mama. But the deal that I cut with this woman at the very beginning was, look, I'm in a position, you know good and well, I could take that kid if I wanted to. I don't want to. I would like to help you raise this child. This is our child. This is not anyone else's problem. And I think we should solve this. For the most part, she agreed. For the most part, the agreement was stuck to for 18 years. The day her youngest kid turned 18, she moved out of her married home with her husband and the whole nine. She did exactly what you're worried about her doing, but she did it to somebody else.
Right.
And I still help raise all three of those children. All three of those children still have every bit of advice I've ever given them, every bit of grace, every bit of gratitude, because they are all three very different children. And without those experiences, I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you, because I wouldn't care. If I was a 47-year-old man with no progeny whatsoever, whether they're mine babies or not, it wouldn't be important to me that young men have an idea of what to expect and how to deal with it. You see? How do you deal with a situation that is completely out of your control? And that's what you're trying to prevent, are situations that are out of your control. And brother, I have to tell you, you're going to fail at that. And it is not a failure. That is life.
Right. I see. I understand what you're saying. Like but it's, again, we're going to hypotheticals about things that might happen. It's like, I don't know if it happens, it happens. Like,
situation.
You know,
never planned to have kids. Wasn't planning on doing that. I got married, someone totally different, knocked up this other chick. All of this stuff happened because I was making the decisions I was making. Life happens. How are you going to deal with life when life doesn't go in a way that you think you can plan for?
these comments
Now
are
it's just us
wild.
two. Now it's us
Yo.
two. All right. I've been through the divorce. I know how bad and how painful, 14 years of being married and then everything just ripping apart can be. I'm the one that initiated the divorce. I know what it's like when someone cheats on you and you find out and then just your whole world collapses. I've been there. I understand. And I know how easy it is to live in that mindset of fear of this happening again, fear of, being taken again like this by some woman, by trusting enough to end up like that pain that I felt before. I understand. I've been there. But you have to ask yourself, I could either live in fear or I could fortify myself, build myself up, make myself strong enough, put things in place to where I don't have to live in fear because I've already put these precautions, these safety measures in place to where if something does go left, I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be intact. I'm going to be good. I may take a couple little bumps and bruises, but it's not going to be the blow that almost took me out like the last one. Right? So I think that it's okay to be aware with how marriage people are and how successful men and women on average are in marriages, but you don't have to be a statistic. Actually, knowing all that information does benefit you because it tells you, okay, it gives you something to work with on how to avoid all this stuff, how to avoid divorce or how to avoid, losing access to your kids or whatever the case is by seeing all this data here and just being like, okay, so if I get with a hooker, well, most likely she's going to cheat and leave. And, so hookers are going to be gone. Okay. We're just cutting off the hookers. But I mean, you could easily, vet people based off of what we see work and what has not worked over time. If being married minded is like what you're ultimately wanting because you want to have a legacy and you know that raising your kids in a family where husband and wife are there is best for the child overall, then there's ways that you could approach this. Now, I agree with you that once you get married, especially through the state, in my opinion, you kind of lose the leverage, right? That you may have had if you were single, because she has this built-in, people say this built-in prenup in place that if she wants out, you're still going to suffer. Well, you could actually avoid that by, I was saying earlier, by establishing a trust, creating the LLC, putting your assets in the trust. Then you're not going to lose as much. You're still going to lose. You may still have to pay alimony, but you're going to have to face that regardless of if you had that protection in place or not. So mitigating the risk is one thing, but living in fear is a completely different thing, And I think that, yes, women are going to shit test you no matter what. That always happens. But you could become so second nature to handling it if you're successful at it. You're just going to just keep on doing the same thing. It's not like it's going to be so much more taxing to you that like, oh, here's another shit test. It's going to be like, I already played this game. I already know how to win. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, now she's done with it. Okay, you just move on. You don't have to focus on her shit test. And I don't even look at a shit test as a shit test. It's a fitness test. It's actually kind of a good thing. Are you competent enough? She's asking you in a way. When she's testing you, are you competent enough? If you can't handle me and I love you, how are you going to be competent enough to handle people outside in this world that don't love you? So I think it could be also looked at as a benefit as a partner that she's trying to like sharpen you up. Are you sharp enough to go out there and face the battle? No, because look, you're losing to me. You're giving me everything you want. You suck. You're not going to be good out there. It can be looked at as a different way. You don't have to look at it as such a negative thing. Now, it can be a negative thing if you allow it to be. Because I'll say people will only respect you or people will treat you as you allow them to. So if you allow a woman to treat you and give you bad behavior, then that's what you're going to get. If you don't allow that, then you're not going to accept that kind of behavior. Either she's going to be gone or she's going to learn real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see your point. I just like, it's a hard sell, man. Like the whole marriage thing, it's just a hard sell. And I understand what you're saying. Like, don't live in fear, you know what I mean? Don't just like throw the baby out with the bathwater. But like again, like I'm like I said at the very beginning, like that's not even what I'm saying. Like I really am not saying that. It comes off that way just because of what we've seen in society. That's what I believe. I believe that like what we've seen play out makes stuff that I'm saying seem doomer or seem it's like no, dude,
Yeah.
it's common sense. Like
You've gotten all the dad energy out of us tonight that like you possibly could have missed growing up. Like we just did like a complete childhood's worth of fathering tonight.
Okay, let me change the topic a little bit.
My dad's the coolest person I've ever known.
I want to change the topic.
I'm mostly taking shots at us because we're like tag teaming to give you our like listen here.
We're doing like the scared straight.
When's the last time you checked the oil on your car?
I'm very familiar with risk. Let me just put it this way. Like I ride motorcycles. I do like, and I'm not at liberty to like, say everything that I'm involved in. That's risky.
What are you involved in?
Just, man, we're not gonna go there.
All right, hold up. Stop. Just stop right there, dude. That was mean. You should have took shot. That was too far, bro. All right. So I have a question.
Well, I ride motorcycles too. I have a motorcycle. I ride motorcycles too. I get the risk, and I like crazy psycho women sometimes too, like the ones that were gonna kill you. Like I take the risk. So I get you like taking risks, but there's also I won't put myself so much at risk that like there's no chance I'm gonna survive.
But when's the last time you shot up? Like
not into that shit.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like testosterone. I took my test earlier today,
See, but you're an old fucking man, and if you don't need, you make your own.
I am old, but okay. My thing is, I want to try and change this a little bit. You sent shots at Josiah directly. You called him a cuck for marrying, help me understand this like concept of him cucking. Okay.
The concept is this: we're all cucks. I'm a cuck too, bro. I've taken girls out on dinners when they've had a bunch of bodies before. I got cucked too. We all get cucked, bro. That's just how it is. It's the guys that think they're not cucked. It's the guys that think they're not cucked. Like, oh, I'm a winner because I stayed a virgin and she was out running around doing God knows what. I'm a winner. Like, no, that's not false. Well, that's where I'm coming from.
But that's just changing the definition of cuck altogether.
Yeah,
it's
I know. I understand. It's tongue in cheek, bro. It's tongue in cheek.
it's a real feminist movement kind
More
of
than
thing. Like, you know
tongue
how
in
they
cheek,
took the word tolerance, and they fucked it off, right? You know, so now he's like, you took the word cuck and you fucked it off because we know cuck meant something very specific, you know, like, so, like, is he really a cuck? No.
It's the
You
chair
know,
guy.
like,
I just personally think it's not a W to like stay or like to be proud of the fact that you stayed a virgin, whereas your wife didn't. That's all I'm
well, I mean,
saying. The cuck thing was just tongue in cheek. It's honestly kind of flagrant. I shouldn't have even said that. But like that's the point I'm getting at is like it's not a W for you, bro, if you stayed a virgin and she was doing God knows what. And he was like, oh yeah, she had a past and we talked about it, this or that. Oh yeah, did you talk about it? What did she tell you? Because I guarantee you everything she told you, it's a lot worse. You know what I mean?
so here's the thing. Are you wanting him to judge based off of your metric? Because that would be pretty beta of him to go off of what your standard is a W. Because that means he would have be living in your frame. And his
Right. No,
frame,
he thinks he
he
got a
is,
W, and that's fine. He can think he got a W all day long. I'm the reality check, bro. Like that's kind of where I'm at,
no, in
where all
his
this stuff. Like I'm just
reality,
a reality check.
but in his reality, he did get the W. In your reality, he didn't. Right. So who's to
Sure, it's
say
all
who's
subjective,
his,
yeah.
it's exactly, so it's very subjective. I said the same thing about Nala Ray, right? Like her husband married her after knowing that she's had her back blown out in all these
Yeah.
videos and stuff, and
He
he
probably
still says
watched
like,
it.
I mean, he probably was a cameraman, who knows, but like,
Exactly.
but at the end of the day, if he said that that's who he wanted to invest in and that's a W for him,
Mhm.
and regardless of what anybody else says, because he would be really beta if he made that decision and then after everybody giving him flack, he divorced her. I would think he has a bitch ass move. That like, oh, he's super beta because he's depending upon what everybody else says to, you know, give him
I agree.
validation.
Yeah,
So I
that
think
makes
it's a
sense.
pretty alpha move that he did, knowing that like everybody's gonna give me shit, but I still like this woman and I want to make her my wife. That's pretty boss.
This conversation is making me more beta by the second.
I'm
Funny.
just saying, like, you know, like if
Yeah.
you're gonna be worried about what everybody else says, then you're not living your own frame.
When I'm out Glenn tonight, I'm going to look him straight in the eyes.
Is it hard to make eye contact with his sunglasses on?
Very, very much so.
Not when you grab his beard and turn it all the way around. You're messing with the wrong one, bro. Here's the thing: you have
It's
to
not
be
long enough to
confident in
grab. It's
yourself,
not long enough to grab. But
right?
like, okay, so I mean,
Savage squash
I get
tonight.
I get what you were saying. Like, you know, okay, you're saying that like she's had the sexual experience. You're kind of coming in at a disadvantage because if she's already had a bunch of sexual experience and you haven't, like, how do you know that you're going to be adequate enough or be able to perform well enough? You know,
Or
then
even understand her games, bro, because all girls
yeah.
play games. Like women play games, and it's like if you
But
don't
like,
have any
sex
sexual
doesn't give you.
experience and she does, she's playing games with your head and you don't even know it.
But
You know what I mean?
but
Am I wrong there?
But what? And I'm trying to understand, like, what information on her games do you gain from fucking them?
I lost the audio.
You lost the audio. Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2.
I hear you.
Maybe it's his headphones. Hold on.
Yep. The headphones are shit testing him.
Can you hear me now?
Look like he set off a flashbang.
The headphones shit testing him.
Well,
right
good
now,
job, guys. We're gonna get him to walk off that cliff of marriage.
I don't know. I think we should give 10th man a shot at this. I think he would.
I like.
Can you hear me now? Hold on, Dave. Can you hear him? No, still no. Oh, he's in the back chat. Let's see. Lost audio. Okay, hop out, then hop back in. Or he can't hear me. So
He
let me
can't
just
hear you. Typey.
How about hop out and then hop back in?
Did you type that in the back chat or you?
Voice typed it. That's right. I don't type that fast.
Bingo.
Like,
he got it.
I do like the.
Oh, dude, I got nerve damage in my left hand. I never could do the two-hand typing, but I can type faster than anybody you know one-handed. Like, I don't even look at the keyboard. I'm just like.
Can you hear us now, David?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay. So my question was like, what knowledge do you gain about the girls' game and the shit that they do from sticking your dick in them?
I think it's less about the actual sex itself. I think it's more about just the mannerisms that they respond to and like the words that they respond to, stuff like that. I don't think it like, I mean, sex is, it is important. Don't get me wrong. Like how you lay it down in the bedroom definitely matters. But
That's
I
very.
think,
I think that's more important than a lot of people give it credit to. I don't think enough people put
yeah,
enough importance on that. But it's just my
right.
opinion.
Yeah, yeah. But I think honestly, I think it's like half and half. Like half of it is that, and then the other half is like you got to understand how they move, how they talk, the things they'll say when they're trying to butter you up, because they butter you. Like what they'll do is they'll like butter you up and use sex. And a guy who's inexperienced, he's not privy to those sorts of tactics.
Well, first of all, you need to understand that the female orgasm is a myth and the clitoris doesn't exist. Once you understand those secrets, from there, you can move on without putting the pressure on yourself of trying to achieve the impossible. And then you can do sex at her. Sometimes you can do sex at her when she's asleep. If she's putting on her makeup, that's a good time to sneak up behind her and do sex at her.
Also, the most valuable sex organ that a woman has is her nipples. You really want to go at those things on the regular.
But I mean, because you said if a guy is being a virgin and he doesn't have sex with women, he's not really familiar with the female games. And I'm just trying to wonder, how does the sex, or how is being a virgin actually, or not being a virgin, improve your knowledge of a woman's games?
Well, getting sex from a girl isn't necessarily the easiest thing unless you're like, top tier Chad level. For most guys, it's like you have to learn how to actually talk to them and how they, what they respond to and stuff. And it's like it's more about that for me.
So then it's social skills.
It's more about that, but it's social skills with women, because social skills with men are completely different than with women. So like if a dude's going into a marriage and he has zero of that, that's worrying,
So then instead of like, banging the bitch, put yourself in a position where you're around a lot of women, interact with a lot of women.
That works. Yeah. I know friends, like when I was in high school, there was like, I just knew a lot of guys who like, they weren't banging chicks, but they were always around them, or they were like, they had access to them. And like, I would always try to be friends with those guys because like they're around all the women. So like,
and all the women like being around them, and they would buy them shit. And like, damn, how do you get these hoes to do this for you? No,
exactly. And you learn game that way. But another part of it is like actually getting to the point where you like can sleep with a girl, because it's like you don't even really know you can do it until you do it. You know what I mean? Like whenever I lost my virginity,
you want the
it's
desire
like,
there. I think you want her to want to jump your bones. At least that desire that like, ooh, she wants to just pounce on you. You want her to have that kind of energy, that sexual energy with you. And I don't think you need to actually experience sex to actually understand what that is.
Right, foreplay. It's all foreplay. Like women love foreplay. They love that shit. Men, we're kind of indifferent to it. At least that's my experience. But women,
I think
they
the
love
foreplay
that
is
shit.
part of the hunt. I think guys like foreplay because it's part of the hunt.
Mhm.
Like especially if you know that she wants you, like you could control her with the foreplay. You can say no, we'll do it when I say, by engaging in the foreplay.
And most of the time, that's what they want. If they're not, as long as they're not like a super masculine woman, like that's typically
Man,
what
just
they
stick your
want.
tongue in her asshole and keep it moving.
That too. I mean, there's plenty of different routes you can go.
You do got to eat that booty like groceries. That's true.
What kind of groceries though? Is it like pasta and rice? The greens.
That shit's Whole Foods. You eat all the ass around here.
Hold on. It depends on where you went and got the booty. If you get the booty from Whole Foods, you eat it like it's Whole Foods. But if you caught that shit at the Hardee's,
no,
Hardee's, you mean that old roast beef sandwich?
So I think like it's safe to say that like guys need to have experience with women, but maybe it doesn't have to be sex to gain experience with women, but have good enough social skills around women to know how women behave. Know that they're very manipulative and they'll appeal to emotion. Like, but I think you can learn all that from fucking
people are
I agree. You
manipulative.
can learn all that without even having sex with them. Like, dude, I had an older sister, so I was put on to a lot of this game and stuff way early on because my sister wasn't going to let me get played. You know what I mean? Like, she just wasn't going to let that happen. So she told me a lot of things that like kind of opened me up, like, or like made me wake up to this stuff when I was early on. And that's why I outperformed a lot of my friends in high school. Like a lot of my friends, because like I was a band kid, bro. Like I wasn't like supposed to be getting all this pussy in high school. Like I was a dork.
We
But
know
I
about
just
Well,
band
knew
camp.
we all know what goes down at band camp. Don't play us. We're not
Yo,
dumb.
but for real though, like I learned so much just from my sister and also just being around chicks or like, like
All
whenever
right,
I
hold
started.
on, sir. This is the third time you've done this, and I tried to call you on it the first time. You have to be careful about the words you put together in a string. When you're like, I got all of this beauty and I learned so much from my sister. Are you from Georgia? Is it Tennessee?
No, okay.
I'm just saying, just be careful with how you speak. I'm
Man,
going
I was
to
biting my tongue over here.
But I'm so serious about that. Like
You can
having an
tell it's
older
your
sister, like she was not gonna let me get played by a chick. She just wasn't gonna let it happen.
Well,
You
yeah, I
know?
mean, they'll give you some insight. And they'll put you on game, But like, I also say, like, look at your, like, if you have a good relationship with your mom, and if your mom and dad have a good relationship, you can look at your mom and like my mom's the devil. Like she's Satan. If you ever watched the 1960s horror movie called Rosemary's Baby, well, my grandma's name was Rosemary. All right, and so like, and the way I look at it is like I love my mom because she's my mom, but I would not want to be with a woman that had her characteristics or her personality traits. I see, when I see those things, I see red flags. I'm like, you're not the type of one I want to invest in a relationship. May want to bang you, but I'm not going to invest in a relationship with you. So I think like that also factors in a role here, right? Like you said, your mom was kind of like mean to your dad. Like, do you think like that is factoring in your decision making? Like not seeing that like it's all women are like that, but looking at it as like, I'm going to avoid women that have these traits.
Honestly, like a lot of it, whenever we were growing up and stuff, like they fought a lot about stuff, but it wasn't related to like the kids and stuff. So like me and my sister, we just kind of stayed out of it. Like we spent a lot of time like outside the house, like trying to get away from all of that. Like, so a lot of that, like I can't even really say too much. I just remember it as like a reoccurring theme. But whenever I look at like personality traits and stuff like that, like my mom always cooked dinner and was like, like she did all the things that, a submissive wife is supposed to do,
But
like
if she
over
didn't
the long
respect
haul.
him, those are the things I'm talking. Those are the characteristics and the traits that I'm
Right.
talking about. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, was she disrespectful to him? Did she have a habit to undermine his authority? Did
Mhm.
like those things are matter. I mean, it doesn't really matter who
Yeah.
makes dinner. Anybody can make dinner. Like, that's great, that's nice, but how does she treat you?
Yeah. I think my dad was just very, very tolerant of being able to put up with bullshit. I just think he like was just able to do it. Like even to this day, like I mean, they don't argue anymore, obviously. Like they're like,
Because you guys are
retired
out of
and
the house and they can have sex in every
yeah.
room that they want now.
Yeah. So like a lot of it was probably attributed to just having teenagers and shit around. So like I think about it in that in those terms a lot because if I try to like just put all the blame on my mom, it's kind of not fair. You know what I mean?
So you take it on yourself. Yeah, you are the reason that your parents fought. No, get the fuck out of there. That's their fault.
I was
Their
part of it,
problem.
bro. Like we
No,
were part of
shut
it, bro.
up. They're the
We got in
adults.
lots of me and my sister got in lots of
You ever
trouble
burn
growing
down
up,
a
bro.
4x4 off-road vehicle? Like just burn that fucker to a carcass?
No, but we had
You
been
ever burn down a
arrested
house?
multiple times. Lots of
Yeah.
just lots
Oh,
of
shit.
hectic shit
Yeah,
that parents shouldn't
yeah.
have to go through. We
That's
were
fine.
hectic.
Now, okay, let me ask you this, because I say this a lot. I think in every like failed relationship, if and I don't think staying married till death is the markings of a successful relationship. There's a plenty of people that have done that and that fucking hate each other, right? But they just stay together because it's convenient and it's also comfortable. It's in their comfort zone. They know how to operate in their life without this person. It's uncomfortable to them. So, but when you look at like people that have like failed relationships, I always say that both parties are to blame. There's enough blame for both parties to hold. Now, who is more to blame than the other person? That to me is irrelevant. Both parties are to blame. There's failure on both sides. So when you look at the divorce scale, do you look at it as like, yeah, all these women are divorcing men, these hoes ain't loyal? Or are you looking at it as like, yeah, women can be that way, but you know what? These guys also probably dropped the ball and they fucked up too somewhere in there. that this actually ended up being their outcome.
Well, they lost attraction somewhere down the line, and that there is some responsibility that the men have to bear for that. Like I do believe that, but at the same time, it's like, the numbers are skewed in such a way where it does kind of, shuffle the blame at least a little bit towards women and say like, well, if you guys are, we have all of these amenities and all this new like high tech stuff, like how come y'all aren't choosing the right partner? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, because like
get rid
everybody
of the
believes in
number.
women.
Numbers
Get
and
rid of the number.
are the wrong way to assess and approach relationships with somebody. We're talking about subjective interpersonal connection. We're not talking about the stock market.
Right, I agree, but that's kind of like an appeal to emotions, in my opinion. Like this whole idea of like, oh, well,
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
mean,
have a
it is.
relationship and just be
It
happy.
is, and it
100%. I
should
don't
be.
think about life. I don't think about
It
life in
needs to
those
be.
terms, though.
It
I don't
need.
think
It
about life
doesn't
in those
matter.
terms.
Those are the terms that you connect to other people on. So if you're gonna be logical all the way and recognize that emotions have a place. What the fuck happened? Oh, okay. Emotions have a place, and that is in relationships. That's the controlling function in a relationship. It's not logic.
And emotion, but see, my point is like emotions are an appeal to the feminine. Men are not supposed to be emotional. Men that are emotional end up in jail. Like
Actually, I think I disagree
That's
with
an
you.
emotional position, though.
I disagree
not
with
really.
you. I
That's a
think that,
logical position.
no.
That's
I think men
logical.
are supposed to be being able to emotionally regulate themselves. You need to be able to manage your emotions. You're
Right.
not supposed to not have emotions. You're
Right, I
supposed
agree
to
with that.
accept. Okay, so you're supposed to be able to know. Okay, you know what? This is pissing me off. If I get to this point over here, I'm gonna snap. So I need to know that by the time I better either get the fuck out of Dodge by the time I get here, or that I'm gone. So you should be able to handle your emotions, regulate your emotions better. And that's what men fail. Men don't have that today because they're acting very feminine. They respond super emotionally to everything, right? But they don't know how to regulate their emotions. And that's what you're talking about, I think.
Facts. That's facts.
Yeah, but the idea of like, okay, well, I'm gonna get in this marriage, I'm gonna jump in this marriage, and like we're gonna be happy 24/7. Like that's
not even a reality. That's
that's not even what we're talking about here, bro.
Right.
We're talking about, and we're not talking about, the quintessential woman, right? Or women in general. What we're saying is don't close yourself off to the possibility of that one. There is more than likely, I mean, you could be an exception, maybe. There's more than likely a woman out there who complements all of your foibles absolutely flawlessly.
God,
and if you're living through the premise of all relationships end in failure, then you're probably going to fail at that relationship due to a lack of effort.
But regardless, even a failed relationship is, I don't know. I wouldn't undo them. That's how I learned shit.
I mean,
think,
true.
like I'm a big you got to live your life, right? Like I don't know.
I mean, you could you could try to like avoid everything that's going to be bad, but then what have you done? You have not gained any.
You should just lay
experience. You have
down and
not
die.
lived
Then.
any knowledge
Let's,
at all.
Let's lay down and die and get to the end.
Yeah, like it's like you might as well just quit.
Hey man,
ahead of
I'm
time.
still having fun. I'm having fun being single, bro. I don't know about y'all, but I'm having fun. Like
So,
I'm
Do you
still,
masturbate a lot?
no. But I'm having fun being single. Like there's no shame in that at all.
So like here's the thing. Like you don't have a big issue over body count, right? I think that's what you said earlier. You kind of have like the same mentality that I have. Body count really doesn't matter, just the way that you treat.
It matters to an extent. Like, okay, if I can tell that you have a lot of bodies, then yeah, it's gonna matter. But if you have a lot of bodies and I can't fucking tell, then that more power to you.
So body count matters as long as you can tell. You have like a
Yeah, like if I just notice things, like it's like small, subtle things that I'll notice. And if I notice
like how
these
she
types of-
like sucks your dick and goes balls too at the same time as the first, like that would obviously give it
I'll
away.
give you
like,
an
she's not a
example, bro.
practice.
I'll give you an example. So there was this girl that I had known when I was in high school and I took her virginity. But like after that happened, I didn't talk to her until like she had graduated college and shit. And now she's like, in her late or mid to late 20s. And I had went to go see her because she lives like 3 or 4 hours away. I went to go see her and she was saying a bunch of stuff. And I was just like, in the back of my head, I'm just like, yeah, you got ran through while you were here at college. Like I could just tell, you know what I mean? She didn't even have to say it directly. I could just tell she was talking about this party and that party and this guy and that, or her friend, you know what I mean? Like friends. Like I could just tell, you know what I mean?
But like women lie, men lie, but behavior doesn't.
Right.
I have a comment, or actually a question from Katie in my chat. She wants to know if you're a serial killer.
Am I a serial killer? No.
That's the question.
Do you not like cereal? I kill cereal all the time,
Bro,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
You know that I have a closet full of cereal right
I
here,
know
right?
you have a closet full of cereal. I like hot cereal too.
This is all a euphemism for the pile of bodies he has in that door.
But so I mean, I think I agree. Like I think there's behaviors that women could exhibit that could give you a good indicator if this woman has been around a lot, or she's she got frequent flyer on dick, yeah. But at the same time, I think what should matter more is how does she treat you? Because let me ask you this. You have two options here. You got girl with no body count, but is like, she kind of treats you like your man. She can live with or without you, right? Or you got, girl with a high body count, but she thinks the world of you. Like
Bukkake Betty loves you to death.
Bukkake Betty loves it.
Betty is the one.
You take the high body count. Like it's because I agree. Like you put more importance, or you should put more importance on like how they treat you versus what they've done in the past. But at the same time, it's like those things they tend to not be mutually exclusive. Like they tend to be very like linking factors. Like if a girl has high body count, then she tends to be indifferent to most of the guys she slept with because she got alpha widowed somewhere along the line,
Yeah. And that's why I think like if you just are her best, then you ain't got nothing to worry about what her body count is, because then you knocked out all those numbers.
I personally think you shouldn't worry either way. I don't think you should give a fuck. I think you should only look at how they treat you.
So then, approach is anxiety based.
No, I don't think his was.
I think it is. He only notices the risk. That's an anxiety based approach if you only notice the risk.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I'm saying, though. That's not what I'm saying.
I know it's not. I mean, I know it's not what you think you're saying. It's what I'm extrapolating from the patterns.
I think the fear, when it comes to the body count conversation, I think the fear is more in the guy's inadequacy to be able to perform at a level that is
it's a territory thing.
It is, but like,
yeah.
But if you know that you laid it down and like her behavior shows you that like you were her best, right? I think that provides you more assurance that like, okay, got it in the bag, right? But if you feel like you didn't satisfy her, like, oh, I'm sorry, I came too soon. Sorry about that. You're like, if she ain't getting the satisfaction level,
rally. You need to rally.
Yeah, dude, just go get you a freaking juice box, sit there, think about the decisions that brought you to this point in your life. Think about that hot chick you nailed back in college. Go back in, slap that bitch for another round. I'm telling you, you got to close the deal.
No, really, I do agree that I think that a guy's capability of being her best, or a woman's, providing a woman satisfactory beyond the other guys, really does solidify whether or not this woman is going to be interested in you or not.
Excuse me. I don't mean to be rude here, but we got a whale coming through. Chuck with $50 says, "Who said whales for I'm a beast?" Amen, Chuck. Here's the whales for you. All right, carry on.
Chuck is the whale man.
I didn't ask for you first, but I also sent Chuck the link because That's grandpa's cool. Been married for like 60 years.
Chuck is an old OG. So it doesn't seem like, so you don't really hate women, because you did say you hate women earlier today. You don't hate women.
No. I definitely don't hate them. I just like, if I had a choice to like spend time with a woman or my bro, probably my bro.
Okay, like I mean, like,
I don't think that translates to hating women.
But like, you're not saying like what you say spending time. That means like you're talking about doing an activity that you enjoy doing, which is probably activities that other men enjoy doing, and so you rather do that rather than enjoy doing an activity that you like with your girl. Because like if you like playing video games or playing basketball, you don't want to play basketball with your girl. She's no competition. right?
Right. Yeah.
But when it
Yeah.
comes
The
to
things
fucking,
that
you rather do
yeah
that
the
with
things
your
that we
girl.
do with women are are definitely a lot different than what we do with our friends or our male friends.
Yeah. So I mean, I think like again, compartmental. Well,
a lot of setups right there.
Y'all got a dirtier mind than I do, man. I'm younger.
Yes, sir.
we are old dirty men. Like, what do you think? Like
I have
all the
experience
jokes
being
that you
dirty.
have gotten, we've created. We've created all
That's
those
true.
dirty
That's
jokes.
true. Hey, but I actually got to head out. It's getting late over here, but
Do you have a channel or something?
Yeah. Do
I got
you
what?
have
Do you
do you have like a YouTube presence or like a streamer? Are you a streamer? Of
No,
any
I'm on
sort?
I'm on X. You guys can follow me on X
Oh
at
yeah,
Wigger.
I'll grab it. I'll grab it if you want to.
Yeah, Wigger Groiper. Wigger. Groiper. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up. I got it. I got his channel right here.